have discussed till now? Yes. See, Neolithic age mein hi rice and wheat was cultivated. Yes. Okay. So, and the Indus Valley civilization period maybe the same thing continue. But the early Vedic Aryans, when they came into India, they were not agriculturists. They did not involve in cultivation, sir. They did not have agriculture of their own. But the local population, they continued agriculture. But Vedic Aryans did not know about agriculture. That's it. Yeah, again, in later Vedic period, they started again cultivating. They also learned the art of agriculture. They got involved in wheat, rice, and barley cultivation. Yes. Yes, steppe. Yes. Okay. See, the thing is, they used to have some common natural gods, sir. Okay, and the names of these gods after they came to India or in the process of migration, okay, what happened is they named each god in a particular name. Okay, that is the reason why Kassite, Mithanite and Bagajkai inscriptions, they have particular names like Indra, Varuna, okay, Mithras, all of these names are present in these inscriptions. Yes. Okay, in fact, Sanskrit has, it has retained, most of the original Indo-European language terms as they are. Okay, whereas in other areas where these people migrated to, the original Indo-European language, it got transformed a lot. But Sanskrit primarily because of its strict rules of grammar, strict rules of pronunciation. Okay, so how the Vedas were considered to be sacred. So because of all these factors, Sanskrit as a language, it contains most of the original words of Indo-European languages as they are. But other languages, they became corrupt, but this language, it remained the same. Are you understanding this? Okay, so because in Vedas, it is wrong for people to change the method of pronunciation of Veda. You have to remember it as it is. Yes or no? Because they are considered to be sacred texts. Yes, there were strict rules of grammar for Sanskrit too. I think you might be knowing about Ashtadhyayi of, who wrote Ashtadhyayi? Panini. Okay, Panini's Ashtadhyayi, which is considered to be one very prominent text on Sanskrit grammar. Then later day, Patanjali also wrote Mahabhashya. Yes. So there was one more person called Katyayana who wrote Vartika. I'll talk about these grammatical traditions of Sanskrit in art and culture, sir, again. So because of the strict rules of grammar, pronunciation, Sanskrit as a language, it has continued many elements of the original Indo-European language. All right, making sense what I'm trying to say? Yes, any other questions, sir, from your side? Any other questions? Is this making sense what I'm trying to talk about? So this is the case. Now I think I talked about the Alexander's invasion. First I talked about Cyrus, then Xerxes, then after that Darius III, during which time the Macedonian Alexander, by uniting all the Greek city-states in a combined and concerted attack, he attacked the Persians or the Achaemenid Empire in a battle called Battle of Gaugamela, and he defeated them. Then thereafter he came to India. He fought a battle called Battle of Hydaspes against Porus. Then thereafter, he came to till the river banks of the river Bias, but thereafter he started withdrawing from India. So Alexander's invasion of India, it occurred over a brief span of nearly 4 years, sir. 327 BC to 323 BC. So you can write it down, it's not given there. So it occurred during the period of 327 to 323 BC. Over a span of 4 years, this person has invaded over India. 327 to 323. 327 to 323 is the time period of his. Okay. So after this 4 years of invasion, even though the Greeks or Alexander did not settle in India for quite some time, or he did not stay in India for any prolonged period of time, what he did is, while withdrawing from India, he left some Greek military contingents in the northwest of India. And these people later day, they came to be known as the Indo-Greeks. It means that by withdrawing, in order to take care of the territories that have been occupied by him, he left a lot many Greek army men in the northwest of India. They later day came to be known as the Indo-Greeks. Are you following this? That is one. Then second one is, because of Alexander's invasion, a new trade route it developed between India and the Greek world. Okay, till then there was no prominent trade between these two areas. A new trade route developed between Asia and Europe because of Alexander's invasion. That is second important contribution. Then the third contribution of Alexander's invasion to India is, he is the one okay, who introduced to Indians, okay, the method of, okay, in fact, making coins. Okay, even though coins were present from the age of Mahajanapadas, the coins which were present, they were in fact known as diced, not die-stuck coins. What are the coins called? As punch-marked coins, sir. From the age of Mahajanapadas, there were coins called punch-marked coins. I will discuss them separately. But Alexander is the one who introduced two new types of coin making traditions. One is called die-stuck coin. The second one is known as casting of coins. See, I'll explain these three methods. Okay, just briefly listen to me. See, when it comes to the punch-marked coin, if a coin is punched with symbols after it is well formed, if the coin is well formed, and after that if the symbols are punched onto it, then it is known as punch-marked coin. Then, if on a semi-molten coin, okay, not fully molten, but in a semi-molten coin, if you impress the symbols, then it is known as a die-stuck coin. Are you getting this? So you melt the coin a little, then after that you strike your symbols onto them, then it is known as die-stuck coin. Then the third type of coin is known as casting of coins, and in casting what you do is you create a mold of the coin first. Then after that you pour molten metal into it, then it is known as casted coins, sir. Usually coins are made in these three methods. In India, before the entry of Alexander, there was only die-stuck coin. He was the one who introduced, punch-marked coin was present. He was the one who introduced die-stuck coins is number one, and the second one is casting of coins. Okay, this is one more important thing that Alexander has brought to India, and he is the one who brought the Hellenistic art traditions to India, sir. Hellenistic means Greek. So Greek art traditions he brought into India, which later led to the emergence of a new school of sculpture and construction in India. So the school of sculpture is known as Gandhara school of sculpture. I think you might be knowing. Okay, Buddha is first shown in a human form in the Gandhara school of sculpture, and behind that Alexander's invasion, it played an important role because he is the one who brought the Hellenistic Greek art to India for the first time. Then along with that, with Alexander's invasion only, Indians came to know about the Western tradition of drama. In fact, Indian drama, it in fact is inspired by the Greek drama, sir. Okay, Greek drama is one of the major inspiration for Indian drama. Before the entry of Alexander's troops to India, Indians did not know about this art form of drama, sir. Dramas were introduced into India by the Greeks themselves. That is the reason why even today the cloth curtain which separates the Nepatya from Ranga. Okay, I think you know backstage and front stage. Ranga is the front stage. Backstage is called Nepatya. The curtain which divides these two things, even today it is known as Yavanika. Okay, Yavana means Greek. Okay, even today the curtain which divides the Ranga from Nepatya is called Yavanika, primarily because Indian drama is inspired by the Greek drama. Is it alright? So these are the important contribution. And one more thing is Alexander is the one who brought the tradition of cavalry to India for the first time. Cavalry means what? Horse riding. So I told you till the age of Mahajanapadas, the only method of warfare that was known to Indians with the help of horses is horse-drawn chariots. He was the one who brought the element of cavalry into India, and this cavalry system which he brought first, later during the time of post-Mauryan period, it became very, very prominent in India, sir. Are you following this? Okay, for horse riding, I told you there is a requirement for some peculiar designs are required for horse riding. So about those things I'll discuss later in post-Mauryan age when the Indo-Greeks brought the tradition of cavalry properly into India. Is it alright? So these are the important contributions of Alexander. Even though he stayed only during a brief time in India, but his contribution to the interaction between Indian culture and the Western culture is enormous, sir. Are you following this? And one more thing is, it is the Alexander troops who settled down in the northwest of India. Most of them, they got converted into either Bhagavatism, Buddhism or into Jainism, sir. And these Greeks who got converted into these religions, they are the ones who became the cultural ambassadors of India to the Western world and to the Central Asia. And it is through them only Buddhism, it entered into Central Asia, and from Central Asia, it took the path towards China, and from China, it went into Japan. Are you understanding this, sir? So that is the reason why they became the cultural ambassadors of India. The Indo-Greeks are considered to be the cultural ambassadors of India to the Western world. Are you following this? Okay, so these are some of the prominent contribution of the Alexander's invasion. So, and this is the story of Alexander, sir. And one more prominent contribution is the unstable conditions in northwest of India. Because of Alexander's invasion, they provided the opportunity to Chandragupta Maurya in order to first rebel in Punjab region. Are you understanding this? I told that Chandragupta Maurya's rebellion, it started in Punjab. Okay, primarily because of the absence of law and order proper kingdoms in here, it became easy for the Chandragupta Maurya in order to rebel in northwest of India. Some Greek stories Okay, they talk about an interaction between Chandragupta Maurya and Alexander, but this has been not proved historically, sir. Some Greek authors, okay, because Chandragupta Maurya later became a very prominent ruler, so they talk about an interaction between Chandragupta Maurya and Alexander, but this interaction, it did not happen in reality. Are you following this? So this is the story of Chandragupta Maurya and Chandragupta Maurya nahi, Alexander's invasion and its impact on India. All right, very good prelims question can be formulated here. Yes, in fact, Alexander, because of his conquest, he became a very, very prominent figure in the entire Western world. And later the title Sikandar, you know, okay, Sikandar is in fact the title of Alexander, sir. Okay, later it became a major inspiration for many Islamic rulers also in order to name themselves as Saini Sikandar. Saini Sikandar means the second Sikandar. Sikandar means Alexander. Are you getting this, sir? Alauddin Khilji is one prominent ruler who has taken this title later. About that, I'll discuss later. Okay, so now this is the case. Now see this, sir. Alexander's invasion of India 327 to 323 BC. Alexander attacks the Achaemenid Empire of Persia in Battle of Gaugamela. So there you write. Okay, Cyrus is the first prominent ruler of Cyrus is the first prominent ruler of Achaemenid Empire. Achaemenid Empire. Yes. Okay, it's also called as Persian Empire, but the Persian term is given later, sir. Originally, it is called as Achaemenid Empire. Okay, Achaemenid Empire. Cyrus the Great, he is called as, and he sponsored the navigation of Indus. He sponsored the navigation of Indus by Skylarks. Okay, by Skylarks. Skylax. Skylax is the one who navigated the Indus for the first time. Okay, Cyrus had the Gandhara and Kamboja Mahajanapada. Cyrus had the Gandhara and Kamboja Mahajanapada under his control. Kamboja Mahajanapada under his control. Kamboja or and Gandhara and Kamboja Mahajanapada under his control. Okay, that is the reason why, okay, even if you watch that movie 300, some Indian troops are shown fighting against the Spartans. Okay, primarily because they were part of the Cyrus army. They were part of the Cyrus army. They took their elephants from here. Okay, and they fought against the Greeks with the help of their elephants. Okay, so this is one prominent thing. Then apart from this, the next one is, okay, write one more. Okay, because of Xerxes' attack, okay, Xerxes, here it is XERXES, Xerxes' attack, the Greek city-states were destroyed. The Greek city-states were destroyed. Greek city-states, Xerxes' attack, Greek city-states were destroyed, and in order to seek revenge, Alexander of Macedonia attacks Darius III. Alexander of Macedonia attacks Darius III. Darius, Darius III. Okay, from here on, the story is clearly present here. Is it all right, sir? 3. Darius III. Okay, so Alexander attacks Achaemenid Empire of Persia, Battle of Gaugamela. Alexander won and got big area of Middle East and Europe. He came to India to conquer India. 2 rulers in India, Ambi and Porus. Okay, Ambi of Takshila, he surrenders. Porus doesn't surrender. Okay, so Alexander makes Porus the chief of northwest Greek provinces. Then there it is given as ICJ. It is in fact IJC. Is it given as ICJ? So please change it to IJC. IJC RBS. Okay, so this is the code for Indus rivers. So Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Bias and Sutlej. So this is the story. Alexander invaded till Bias river and Dhanananda was very powerful in India, stopped there and started retrieving. Okay, so Alexander died due to malaria in, okay, so Alexander died due to malaria. Died due to malaria. Okay, now the next one is contribution of Alexander's invasion. New trade routes opened towards Greece, disturbed northwest balance of power, gave fertile land for Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, CGM there means Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, so CGM Chandragupta Maurya. Alexander didn't took all troops back. These became Indo-Greeks and later came into India. New school of Indo-Greek or Roman or Gandhara school it emerged. Two types of making coins, that is die-struck coins and casting of coins. Then influenced the Indian drama. Yes. Then Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivika was taken to the Western world. Even Bhagavatism. Right. Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivika and Bhagavatism. So Bhagavatism is nothing but Puranic Hinduism, sir. Same thing. Different names. Okay, Bhagavatism. Okay, Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivika and Bhagavatism was taken to Western world. Was taken to the Western world. Okay. Alexander's success is primarily because of his cavalry. Write it down. Alexander's success is primarily attributed to his cavalry. Alexander's success is primarily attributed to his cavalry. Cavalry means horse riders. Okay, horse riders. So this is the story of contribution of Alexander's invasion. Okay, so cavalry, Cavalry. Okay, cavalry. Okay, so this is the route which he has taken. See this, sir. So the Achaemenid Empire, it extended from Egypt, okay, to West Asia, okay, to Central Asia. Entire region was under the control of Achaemenid Empire, which was the world's largest empire at that point of time. Okay, in fact, Ashoka was so much inspired by the Persian rulers. In fact, his tradition of erection of pillars with inscriptions, it is a Persian influencer. Okay, primarily he was influenced by a Persian ruler called Darius I. About that, okay, Darius I, okay, who is the son of Cyrus. Okay, he was inspired by Darius I, sir. Okay, about that I'll discuss later when I talk about the Ashokan pillars. Okay, I'll talk about it. But this is a story of the Alexander's invasion. Then the next one is we need to discuss about the Mauryan Empire. So when it comes to the Mauryan Empire, first, yes sir.
So what's the name of used in drama stages?
Yavanika. Okay, Yavanika is the curtain which is used in Indian drama. It will come later, sir. But if you want to write it down. Yavanika is the curtain used in Indian drama. Yavanikas. It's a curtain used in Indian drama. So is it all right, sir? Okay, now next we will move to the Mauryan Empire. First we will discuss about the sources of Mauryan Empire. Okay, then after discussing the sources, we will get into the story of Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara. Okay, then apart from that, the last one is Ashoka Maurya. We will discuss about their story. First and foremost, we need to know about the sources of Mauryan history. Okay, so the most prominent source of Mauryan history is Ashoka's inscriptions, right? Yes, he tried to preach Dhamma. So this Dhamma based inscriptions he has in fact widely distributed across the country. So this is the first one. Then the second thing is about, or the second information of the Mauryan Empire, it comes from this book called Arthashastra, okay, which was originally written by Kautilya or Chanakya. Yes, okay, Kautilya or Chanakya is the author of Arthashastra, but this textbook Arthashastra, it was lost in history, sir. Okay, and in fact, in the year 1905, a person by the name of Shama Shastri is the one who retrieved this book for the first time. Okay, who retrieved this book for the first time, and even the Arthashastra which has been retrieved by him, it was written in 250 C. Okay, C means common era, that is AD. Okay, it is written in 250 AD, but it is not the original one which has been written by Kautilya, sir. Are you following this, sir? Many copies of Arthashastra were made later by the later rulers of India, and one of those copies it has survived till today. Okay, but the original copy which has been written by Kautilya or Chanakya, it has not survived till date. The copy that we have is the one which has been written down in the year 250 AD. Is it making sense? So, and it was retrieved in the year 1905, okay, by a person called Shamashastri. This is the second important source of the Mauryan history. Then the third source of Mauryan history is the book which is known as Indica, which has been written by a foreign traveler to India called Megasthenes, who is a Greek ambassador to India. So we will discuss about Megasthenes, where he came from, what kind of circumstances he came to India, what he wrote in this book. But even here too, the book Indica, it is not preserved, sir. We don't have the book Indica today. There is no book of Indica, it was destroyed. In fact, whatever information we get about Indica, we get it from the later day Greek historians who referred to Megasthenes in their stories, sir. But the original Indica that has been written by Megasthenes, it is lost in history. We don't know. Okay, what happened to this book, we don't know. But some other authors, they paraphrased or they directly took the verses of Megasthenes and they included in them in his book, and those things are present now. This is the third one. Then the fourth one, okay, the fourth major source of the Mauryan history is, in fact, many dramas which have been written on the Mauryan history during the Guptan period. Of these dramas, the most prominent one is Mudra Rakshas is one, which is written by, okay, this person by the name of Basa or Vishakadatta. I think so that Mudra Rakshas is by Vishakadatta. Yes, okay, Vishakadatta is the one who wrote this book, okay, by the name of Mudra Rakshas. Okay, then apart from Mudra Rakshas, there is one more prominent book which is known as Persist Parvan, sir. Okay, it is in fact a Jain book which has been written by, you tick mark that, Jain book which is written by this person by the name of Hemachandra Suri. It talks about the later years of Chandragupta Maurya's empire. Okay, Chandragupta Maurya empire ke baare mein, this Persist Parvan is one more prominent book which gives us a light or which throws light into the Mauryan history. Then apart from this, the other important sources are the Buddhist texts which have been written in Sri Lanka and Tibet. Both of them, okay, they provide a lot of information on the Mauryan empire. Okay, particularly the book which is known as Ashoka Vadana, okay, then Deepa Vamsha, Mahavamsha, okay, all these textbooks, they refer to the story of Ashoka Maurya, he gaining power, okay, through different means, his Kalinga war, his transformation. So all of these things are discussed in these books like, okay, Ashoka Vadana, Divya Vadana and Deepa Vamsha. Is it all right, sir? So these are the prominent textbooks which are Buddhist literary texts, and they also contain the stories about the Mauryan age. Is it clear? So shall we have a look at these things? Arthashastra by Kautilya, Ashoka's Inscriptions, Mudra Rakshas, then Persist Parvan, Megasthenes Indica, Ceylonese Buddhist Chronicles, Deepa Vamsha and Mahavamsha, and one more book is Ashoka Vadana. Please write it down. Here one more book is Ashoka Vadana. There is also one more book which in fact refers to the Mauryan empire. And the last prominent source of the Mauryan history is this book, that is Rajatarangini of Kalhana. So I told yesterday that it is a, yes sir. Vadana, Ashoka Vadana. Okay, not Vadan. Vadan is killing. Ashoka Vadana. V. Ashoka Vadana. Okay, so it's a book. Right? Okay, not Vardhana. Ashoka Vadana is the story name. Okay, Ashoka Vadana, okay, Deepa Vamsha, Mahavamsha, all of these are the books which are written in Sri Lanka. Okay, then the last one is, okay, this book which is known as Rajatarangini of Kalhana. I told you that it is the only authentic historical text of ancient India, which was in fact written in 12th century AD, but it dwells deeply into the story of Ashoka Maurya, sir. Okay, and it states that it is Ashoka Maurya who first conquered Jammu and Kashmir region. Okay, so Jammu and Kashmir region, it was conquered by Ashoka Maurya. So it is written by Rajatarangini of Kalhana. Okay, so this is one more prominent text of this. Okay, this is one more prominent text. Then now we will discuss about the nature of Arthashastra and Megasthenes Indica. So these two books first we will talk about, because they can be asked as and have been asked as full-fledged questions. Here one question has been asked on the Chinese travelers to India. So naturally they can ask a question on the Greek accounts of India, and Greek accounts of India mein the most prominent one is Megasthenes. Then apart from that, in ethics they have asked a question on Kautilya. Are you getting what I am trying to say? And his Arthashastra ke baare mein they asked a question in ethics. So this way, these two things are important from mains point of view and prelims point of view, primarily because literature is part of art and culture, and literature can be asked as a full-fledged mains question, sir. Are you following this? So you can put a M mark there. So first we will discuss about Arthashastra. Okay, in fact, Arthashastra is a book on, okay, polity, but it is not a book on history. This is very important, sir. In fact, it is a book on polity. Okay, so and in polity textbooks, naturally the historical part is only referred to, but it is not the central theme of the textbook. Are you getting this, sir? Lakshmikant Bhai, you find some historical facts, but that is not the core theme of the polity textbook, right? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? That is how Arthashastra is originally a political textbook, but not a historical textbook, sir. That is the reason why it doesn't refer to any kings of the Mauryan Empire, but it gives an elaborate structure for state and its function. How the state should function, okay, what kind of bureaucracy should be present, how the mantris should be appointed, what kind of administration should be present from the central level to the local level. All of these things are elaborately discussed as a political structure of the Mauryan state, but it is not a historical document in itself, sir. Is it all right? Number one. Number two is Arthashastra, it takes its name primarily because in life it gives utmost importance to Artha. So of the Purusharthas there are four, right? Artha, okay, Kam, Dharma and Moksha. And in these four, Arthashastra says that the most important one is Artha. Usually Hinduism believes that Dharma and Moksha are very important, but it says that Artha should be given the highest importance, and below that should be given the importance to Kama, and below that you have to give importance to Dharma and Moksha. Okay, and Artha here means economic prosperity and power. It means that power and material prosperity should be given higher importance than spiritual prosperity. You should not consider yourself about ethics. You should not consider yourself about spirituality. The primary purpose of yours in life is to accumulate as much power and wealth with yourself as possible. That is the reason why this book is considered to be a realistic document, because realism also believes in what? Leaving the ideals aside. I think in political science you might have studied about it. Yes. So realism believes what? You have to leave the ideals behind and you have to pursue politics on the basis of your own material and power interests. If you pursue politics, then it is known as realism. Okay, that is the reason why Arthashastra is considered to be a completely realistic doctrine, sir. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Then apart from this, okay, apart from this emphasis on realism, the most important aspects of Arthashastra are, in fact, it contains nearly 15 chapters in itself, sir. Okay, 15 chapters in itself, of which nearly 6 to 7 chapters they deal with how the administration should be conducted, and 5 to 6 chapters they deal with foreign affairs of the king. One is internal affairs, second one is external affairs. Then apart from that, there are 2 chapters or miscellaneous chapters are also present. Is it clear? So this way the Arthashastra, it contains both internal and external affairs. So both of them are covered here. Then of the sections of Arthashastra, the most prominent section is this section which talks about the Saptanga theory. What are the 7 ideal elements which should be present for a state? So this Saptanga theory is the most prominent one, number 1. Then apart from the Saptanga theory, the second aspect of Arthashastra is it proposes a theory of Vijagishu. Okay, Vijagishu. Vijagishu is the second theory that he proposes. Okay, Vijagishu is the king of Arthashastra, okay, who is considered to be a universal conqueror, or a universal emperor in Arthashastra is known as Vijagishu. Okay, in fact, it proposes a theory for the Vijagishu which is known as the concentric circle theory, wherein it states that the Vijagishu, he has to surround himself with all enemies. It means that all his immediate neighbors, he should convert them into enemies. Then the neighbors of neighbors, he should convert them into Mitra. Okay, enemy is called Ari, Mitra means ally. Okay, so ally or friend is called Mitra, Ari is known as enemy. So any Vijagishu should surround himself with all Aris. Then outside of the Aris, he should have a layer of Mitras, and outside of the Mitras, he should again have Ari, and outside the Ari again he should have Mitra. Okay, even though India doesn't follow this, okay, many countries they follow this in foreign policy. Take the case of China. Okay, all its neighbors are its enemies, but the neighbors' neighbors are all its friends. Take the case of China. India is enemy, whereas Pakistan is a close ally of China. Okay, Ari and Mitra. So this way, concentric circle theory he proposes, and a Vijagishu, after, okay, in fact, destroying all his enemies who are in his boundary, what he should do is he should convert his Mitra again into Ari. Are you following what I'm trying to say? Okay, so here, so it is in fact a plan to expand the empire by regularly changing the allies and enemies. Are you understanding this, sir? Is it clear? So this theory is known as the famous Vijagishu theory of Arthashastra. Okay, most of the Arthashastra text, it revolves around how the Vijagishu has to acquire power and retain power, sir. And Arthashastra, it looks at the world without any element of ethics. Okay, its worldview is completely practical and realistic, sir. Okay, the Vijagishu should always be suspicious. He should not even trust his family members and his wife too. Okay, in fact contains chapters, okay, which provide justification for when the Vijagishu can kill his family members. Okay, what is the justification for killing family members? There is a chapter in it. Are you getting what I am trying to say? Okay, so it is completely a realistic worldview where the Vijagishu is always a threatened monarch and he should always take policies which increase his power and material wealth. Is it making sense, sir? So then apart from Vijagishu, okay, why I am telling you is it is important. So apart from this, even though he presents this realistic version of state in Arthashastra, the center of Arthashastra, or he talks about the concept of welfareism, sir. Okay, welfareism is something which he emphasizes upon. He calls every Vijagishu to be a paternal despot. Okay, despot means what? Absolute ruler. Dictator. Okay, so despot is dictator, but a paternal dictator. Paternal dictator means like father. Okay, father is also an absolutist in family, but he rules absolutely for the sake of benefit of the family only. Yes or no? So paternal despotism is a kind of despotism where even though you are despotic, you are doing it for the sake of welfare of people. Is it clear? So it talks about an elaborate system of state which gives utmost importance to the spy system, sir. The spy system of the Arthashastra is very, very prominent. In fact, later day, a Italian scholar is known for his realism by the name of Machiavelli. Okay, Machiavelli, who wrote The Prince, okay, a famous book. In fact, if you compare Kautilya's Arthashastra to Machiavelli, Machiavelli looks like a little girl in front of Arthashastra. Okay, because its worldview is even more brutal than that of Machiavelli. Machiavelli's worldview is also brutal. He was also a realistic politician, but Kautilya's thought process, it was so evolved, okay, that Machiavelli looks very weak in front of Kautilya. Are you understanding this, sir? So that is the case with Arthashastra. It talks about all these things. Then apart from this, it gives a very good administrative system. Most of the ideas about Mauryan administration we get from Arthashastra itself. Is it clear? And of these sections, the most prominent section of Arthashastra is, okay, this section which deals with these bureaucrats who are known as Adhyakshas. Okay, it talks about an elaborate bureaucratic system, okay, which is based on Adhyaksha. Okay, and a separate chapter is left for the Adhyaksha, and the system of controlling of Adhyakshas, it is in fact discussed separately. Is it making sense, sir? Yes. So this is one more section. These are the important parts of Arthashastra. Okay, Ari Mitra, that is concentric circle. Then Vijagishu, that is universal emperor. Okay, then state system, external affairs, Saptanga theory. All of these are the prominent theories of Arthashastra. So this will make it a very good full-fledged 10-marker answer. Okay, we need not know in depth more than this, sir. Okay, this is sufficient. Is it all right? Then after this, the next book is Indica. When it comes to Indica, okay, Indica is written by this person Megasthenes, who came as an ambassador to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. In fact, Chandragupta Maurya, after he became the Mauryan emperor, what he did is he attacked the Indo-Greeks who are left behind by Alexander in northwest of India. Okay, particularly there was a ruler there at that point of time by the name of Seleucus Nicator. Okay, and he attacks Seleucus Nicator and he defeats him in war, sir. And by defeating him, he takes over Afghanistan province and he pushes the Indo-Greeks back to Central Asia, sir. Okay, he pushes them back to Central Asia and West Asia. And after defeating Seleucus Nicator, what happens is he takes over so many provinces, and at the same time he gets married to the daughter of Seleucus Nicator, and okay, he gifts Seleucus Nicator nearly 500 elephants from the Magadhan Empire, sir. 500 elephants he gifts. In return, Seleucus Nicator, he sends his ambassador Megasthenes to the court of Chandragupta Maurya. And Megasthenes, he stayed for an extended period of time in the Mauryan court, and he was also very closely associated with Chandragupta Maurya, because of which he gives a very detailed picture of the Mauryan Empire. And in this detailed picture, the main areas that he focuses upon is Megasthenes. He talks about, first and foremost, okay, he talks about the Mauryan Empire, okay, its army, okay, its administrative system. He discusses elaborately. He talks about the personality of Chandragupta Maurya, and he says that Chandragupta Maurya is in fact a child of fear. A child of fear because of the unique circumstances in which he became a king. Okay, he used to look at the entire world with suspicion. Okay, the same Kautilya's Vijagishu theory. He used to look at the entire world with suspicion. He never used to trust anyone. Okay, and all the bodyguards whom he used to hire, he used to only have women bodyguards but not men bodyguards. Then along with that, he used to regularly change. Every night he used to sleep in a different bedroom because he was afraid of assassination, because he became a king through assassination. Okay, so he never used to trust anyone. So only women bodyguards. Okay, changing the bedroom every day. Okay, every night he sleeps in a different bedroom. Okay, so this way Chandragupta Maurya is a child of fear primarily because he in fact is a reflection of the Vijagishu theory of Kautilya. Are you following this, sir? That is second one. Personality of Chandragupta Maurya he discusses about. Then he makes some unique comments on Indian society, sir. Many unique comments he makes, and he says that in India the society is divided into 7 different classes, he says. 7 different classes he says, and he gives the name of 7 different classes. But is there any 7 class classification in India, sir? There is only 4 Varna classification. But this person, by mixing up Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, he creates a new 7-fold classification of society. Even though he stayed in India for extended period of time, because of the language barrier, okay, he did not understand the social system of India properly, sir. He talks about 7-fold classification. Then one more thing he says is, okay, Indians are very humble and ethical by nature. This is one more statement he makes about the Indian society. Indians are always humble and very ethical by nature. Okay, he makes the second statement about Indians. Then the third statement he says is, he says that in India there is no concept of slavery. Slavery as a concept is not present in India. Okay, he makes a statement. But in Arthashastra, there is an elaborate chapter discussing about acquisition and maintenance of slaves. How can it be? Okay, it means that Megasthenes was wrong. Primarily because in the Greek world, the slaves are treated very harshly, sir. But in India, he did not find a similar class of people who are treated harshly by their masters. Because of the fair treatment of slaves in India, he thought that in India there is no slavery at all. Okay, this is the second blunder that has been committed by him. Okay, slavery के बारे में गलत बात किया. 7 class classification he talked about. Then he says that in India, in order to administer, always there is a committee system. There is a committee system of administration wherein, okay, what people usually do is, okay, for administering any province or military, they usually create 6 committees of 5 members each. He gives this number. 6 committees, 5 members each. Urban administration, 6 committees will be there. Each committee will have 5 members. In total, 30 administrators will take care of urban administration. Military administration similarly, 6 committees of 5 people each. So 30 members will take care of administration. So he talks about this system of 6 committees with 5 members each for administration, sir. This is one more thing. Okay, but okay, this note of Indica of Megasthenes, it is not very interesting, right? What is there? Okay, so you people also are bored. क्या बोला इसने? Okay, 7 class classification बोला, slavery नहीं है बोला. Then after that administration he talked about. Okay, then after that Chandragupta Maurya's character he talked about. Okay, but okay, if he writes this way, will it become popular, sir? It will not become popular, right? Because truth is always not very attractive, sir. Whereas fiction is very attractive. Here now he removed his he started making fictional stories now. Okay, in his book Indica, he starts talking about the Indian society, and Indian culture in very unique format through fictional stories. He said that while he was in India, he was able to meet people who are 16 feet tall. Okay, he talked about how he has seen some one-eyed cyclops. You know cyclops? Okay, it is a Rakshasa which has having one eye at center. He says that, so he has met some one-eyed cyclops in India. People who are 16 feet tall he has met in India. Then apart from that, he also makes a story wherein in India there are some trained ants. And these ants, when they are left by the masters, they will go and steal gold for the master. Trained ants के बारे में बात किया. Then he also talked about the extraordinary capability of Indian animals to speak the human language. Okay, particularly the story of parrots. Okay, so parrots, how they can speak the human word. Okay, how they can change voice, mimic. All these stories he has included. Then after that, he also talked about a river in India on which nothing sinks. Is there any river of that sort in India? No. Okay, but all of these are what the fictional and fantastic stories of Megasthenes in order to make his book popular among the Greeks. Okay, and this has fixed the Western mind on India as a land of mythical creatures. That image, it is not going even today. Okay, India is a land of snake charmers. Yes or no? Okay, snake charmer land. Okay, usually people in Western world, they believe that Indians are, okay, very unique people. They have control over snakes. Okay, so some fantastic animals of India they believe in. So all of these things are primarily because the impression which has been left by the first Greek ambassador to India, it lasted in the Western world even till today, sir. Okay, that is the reason why whenever the Western world people, they meet Indians, they think automatically that Indians are spiritual. Yes or no? So all of these things are primarily because of the Megasthenes false account, and this is enormous falsity in his account, sir. Is it all right? Okay, so then apart from that, okay, so these are the important things about Megasthenes account, the Greek account over India, and this image of India, it continued in the Western minds, okay, for quite some time, sir. So shall we have a look at these two sections first? Then after that, we will go to the political story of Chandragupta Maurya. All right? Okay, so this is a very important mains question, sir. Indica and Arthashastra, both of them.
Yes, Indica.
On the basis of Indica, yes. Okay.
They used to read the Indica.
Yes, they used to read the Indica, not only they read Indica, but many later day historians of the Greek world, they directly paraphrased. It means that they lifted some sections of Indica and they included them in their textbook. Okay, that is what is known as paraphrasing, right? Cut, copy, paste. We know about we know about it very well. Yes, in fact, too well we know about it. So that tradition, it continued the same. Okay, there were many great Greek historians later like Strabo, Pliny, okay, Ptolemy, all of them, they included the stories of, okay, Indica about India, okay, in their books, sir. Is it all right? Okay, so now let's have a look at this section once. Okay, Arthashastra. Artha is the most important among Purusharthas. Realistic assessment of societal system. Okay, proposes two theories. Saptanga theory is one. Okay, there is 7 limbs of state. State has Swami, Amatya, Bala, Danda, Kosha, Durga and Mitra. Okay, these are the 7 limbs of state. I think I have narrated them before. Okay, when I was talking about Mahajanapadas. Then second one is Vijagishu theory, that is creation of universal emperor. Every king has to think like universal emperor. Talks about concentric circle approach. So you can write it down. Okay, that Mitra and Ari. Okay, Ari is enemy, Mitra is friend. You remember that concentric circles? You can draw it here. Okay, every Vijagishu, he should think in this fashion only. Okay, it talks about the duties of king. Yes, Adhyaksha system, elaborate bureaucratic system it talks about. It also talks about establishment of state agricultural lands. Okay, this is important, sir. So these state agricultural lands are called as Sita. Okay, you know Sita means land, right? The land furrow is known as Sita because to Janaka, Sita is found while he was plowing the land. I think you know the story, right? So that is the reason why Sita means land which is suitable for agriculture is called as Sita land. Okay, so or plowed land is called Sita land. Okay, plowed land is called Sita land. So Sita lands are the government owned lands here. Then apart from that, establishing state public sector factories. Okay, state public sector factories. Okay, I'll dictate some things, please write down. Okay, Arthashastra envisages a state. Arthashastra envisages a state which is highly centralized, and controls every aspect of human life, which is highly centralized and controls every aspect of human life with robotic precision. Okay, this is a statement of a very famous historian, so we need to remember it as it is. Okay, which controls the life of people with robotic, which controls every walk of life with robotic precision. Okay, robotic precision. So it means that highly controlled state. Precision. Okay, precision, I think you know precision. Perfection, yes. Okay, precision is highly concentrated. Perfection is called precision. Okay, precision. So nearly 6 chapters of Arthashastra talks about the internal affairs of the state, and the rest deal with external affairs of the state. It gives highest significance to the spy system. Spy system. Okay, but it talks about a welfarist state, with a paternal despotism. Paternal, P-A-T-E-R-N-A-L, paternal despotism, father-like despotism. All right. Okay, so that is the case with the Arthashastra. Okay, establishing states of public sector factories, all of these things I think we have talked about. Is it clear, sir? Paternal despotism. Despotic means absolute rule is called as despotism. Is it all right? Okay, usually you might see in newspapers sometimes that Putin is a despot, autocrat. Okay, so these kind of words are used, right? So the same thing. Now the next one is this Indica by Megasthenes. Indica, I forgot to tell, Arthashastra is a text on polity but not history. Arthashastra is a text on polity, okay, text on polity but not history. But not history. Okay, the original Arthashastra is lost. And the one we use today is written in 250 AD. When we use today is written in 250 AD. And was retrieved by R. Shamasastri in 1905. Retrieved by R. Shamasastri in 1905. Okay, so this is 1905, if I am not wrong. Please check it once online. Okay, once you check it online, I remember it to be 1905. Let's see. Shamasastri in 1905, I remember. Please check it once. Now, the next one is Indica by Megasthenes. See this, first foreign traveler. Okay, only reference survived, actual book did not survive. He is ambassador of Greek king Seleucus Nicator in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. His observations, urban administration of India. So he talks about the 6 committees with 5 members each to look after the administration of Patliputra. So each committee has a separate role. Okay, so each committee has a separate role. Okay, then divides Indian society into 7 classes or groups. So concept of Varna, Jati and heterodox system, it was confused by him. Okay, published in 1909 but revived in 1905 only. Okay, so that is the case. Then no slavery system in India. okay, but working slavery system was present in India. Yes. Then it talks about Chandragupta Maurya conquering the entire of North India. Yes. Okay, conquering North India. Chandragupta Maurya had an elaborate spy system. Okay, Chandragupta had women bodyguards. Chandragupta, okay, used to change his bedroom every day. So then he talks about his fantastic stories, that is three-eyed cyclops, ant which can dig gold. Okay, so river where nothing sinks. Okay, cyclops. Okay, three-eyed will be there, single-eyed will be there, sir. Some will be three-eyed with the central eye. Some will be single-eyed cyclops. Okay, so you write one more. Men who are 16 feet tall and talkative animals. Okay, men who are 16 feet tall and talkative animals. And talkative animals also he talks about. Okay, talkative animals. Okay, and he also states that all land in India is owned by the king. Okay, this is also a false observation, sir. So he says that all land in India is owned by the king. Okay, so that is a false observation, because land in India is in fact owned collectively by the society. Remember, in modern India, I think I talked about this. Okay, some part of the land's produce goes to the king, some part goes to the farmer, some parts go to the village community. Yes, so land is collectively owned in India, but this person has wrongly or misunderstood this. Then you write one more statement. Megasthenes talks about an elaborate census system in India. Megasthenes talks about an elaborate census system in India, where he says that every birth, every death is registered, every foreign traveler is registered, all these things he talks about. But you just write it that he talks about the elaborate census system in India. Okay. So these are the prominent things about Megasthenes Indica. Okay, so in fact there are three different views on land and ownership in India. Yes, land ownership has multiple owners or claimants. Okay, land ownership is claimed by peasants, tenants, agricultural laborers, landlords, feudal lords, etc. Labor was more important than land in India. Even the Britishers got confused about the ownership of land in India. Okay, the same thing. Okay, we talked about this in land revenue settlements of India. Okay, the same thing here. So this is the case. Now, okay, the next one is Mauryan Empire. Now we will have a look at the political history. After political history, we are going to discuss about the administrative history of Mauryan dynasty. Then after administrative, social and economic dimensions of Mauryan Empire we are going to discuss. Is it all right? Now, when it comes to the Mauryan Empire, see the extent of the Mauryan Empire. See, it is extending from Afghanistan in northwest to Assam in the northeast region. Yes, and in top, it is extending from Jammu and Kashmir to in south. It is extending till okay the half of Tamil Nadu and Kerala is also occupied by the Mauryan Empire. Yes, only a few tribal groups were present in south of India when the Mauryan Empire was in its full swing, sir. When it was most powerful, only some tribal groups were left here, but the actual or physical extent of the Mauryan Empire, it was this, sir. Is it all right? So initially, when okay, Mahapadmananda was present, he is the one who in fact annexed all the 16 Mahajanapadas into the Magadha Mahajanapada. Yes, but after the Nandaru, okay, in the confusion which occurred after the death of Dhanananda, most of the Mahajanapadas, they became independent again, sir. Okay, that is the reason why Chandragupta Maurya, after he took over the Mauryan Empire or the Magadhan Empire, first and foremost what he did is he tried and reconquered the Indo-Gangetic belt from his enemies, sir. Are you getting this, sir? After the death of Dhanananda, many of the Janapadas, they have become separate. Now, again Chandragupta Maurya, after taking power with the help of his army, he extended his empire from Gujarat region to Assam region, sir. Okay, but his empire did not get extended to the Deccan region. Okay, Deccan or the south of river Narmada, he did not come to. And at the same time, he fought a war with this Sandrakutas. Okay, sorry, not Sandrakutas. This Seleucus Nicator, he fought a war with. In fact, Chandragupta Maurya in Greek sources, he is referred to as Sandrakutas. Sandrakutas is the name of Chandragupta Maurya, and he defeated the Seleucus Nicator too, and he even annexed the northwest province into Indian Empire. Then after this, Chandragupta Maurya, he was governing his state with a very efficient administrative system under the guidance of Chanakya, sir. Okay, but later date, during the end stages of his life, in his empire, there emerged a major famine. Okay, in the famine, lakhs and lakhs of people were dying because of hunger, sir. And okay, Chandragupta Maurya at this point of time, he took up numerous relief measures in order to save his people from the famine. And in fact, there are inscriptional evidence which are given by Chandragupta Maurya himself, called Mastan inscription is one. Second one is the Sahagura inscription. These two inscriptions, they talk about the famine relief measures of Chandragupta Maurya during a major famine in his empire. Okay, and at that point of time, looking at the suffering of people because of famine, Chandragupta Maurya, he got, okay, in fact, he became against materialism. Okay, and he was thinking about the concept of suffering. He went against materialism, and at the same time, he got attracted towards the Jain principles, sir. So what he did is, he left his royal life, delegated his power and authority to his son by the name of Bindusara, and by delegating the power to him, he joined into the Digambara Jaina tradition. And as part of this Jaina tradition, he became part of the group which is led by this person by the name of Bhadrabahu. And under the leadership of Bhadrabahu, what he did is, he migrated from this region of Mauryan Empire that is present in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh region. From there, he came as a Digambara Jain to this place which is known as Shravanbelagola, sir, which is present in Karnataka. In Karnataka, he came, and in Shravanbelagola, on a mountain top, he performed his last sacrifice, which is known as Salekana. I think you know about Salekana. Okay, Jains typically during the end stages of life, they typically tend to stop eating food or consuming water. They starve themselves to death, and this sacrifice was performed by Chandragupta Maurya when he was present in this place called Shravanbelagola. Even today, if you reach out to Karnataka, if you go there, you can see in Shravanbelagola there is a cave where Chandragupta Maurya was supposed to have performed his Salekana. And this Salekana of Chandragupta Maurya, it became the story of Persista Parvan, which was written by Hemchandra Suri. Are you understanding this, sir? A king who was ruling such a large empire, voluntarily relinquishing his empire and going down south, and there performing Salekana, that is hunger-led death. Salekana is people, Jains during the end stages of life, in order to attain Kaivalya. Okay, these people, they stop consuming food and water, sir. Okay, so and they starve themselves to death. This is known as Salekana. Okay, see, in fact, the best food, okay, if he orders, he will get anything. Okay, so in fact, he has a very good life, okay, in his capital, but because of the famine conditions and its impact on his mind, what he did is, he became a Digambara Jaina. Are you getting what I am trying to say? He migrated south and he performed Salekana, and he died here in south only. Then thereafter, he was replaced by his son by the name of Bindusara. Okay, in fact, the fear of, okay, this poisoning and killing by enemies was so high in, okay, the Mauryan dynasty, that what Chandragupta Maurya did is, from very young age, he started deliberately feeding his son with poison. Okay, so that he will become immune to poison. So because of this regular feeding of poison, Bindusara, he developed a allergic reaction to poison. So because of which, even when he was poisoned, he did not die. Okay, but at the same time, because of the regular intake of poison, he had on his entire face dark spots, sir. That is the reason why he is known as Bindusara. Okay, so this is real story, I am not joking. Okay, and his title is Amitra Gatha. Okay, Amitra Gatha is his title. Amitra Gatha means the one who cannot be defeated by his enemies. Okay, Amitra means enemy. Gatha means the one who cannot be defeated by his enemy is called as Amitra Gatha, and he took this title and he became the next emperor. And after becoming the emperor, what this person did is, he is the one who extended the Mauryan empire from Deccan region. Okay, so he came to the Narmada river belt, so the Gujarat region. From there, he extended the Mauryan empire to Karnataka region, sir. Are you following this, sir? So Karnataka region also he extended the empire to, and at the same time, Bindusara's lifetime, okay, it is very well known for his faith in, okay, a heterodox sect which is known as Ajivika. Okay, he was in fact an Ajivika by faith. Ajivikas, they believe in this concept of Niyati. Niyati means fate. Okay, the people who are believers in fate are known as Ajivikas, sir. Yes or no? Sometimes we also tend to become Ajivikas. Okay, when something is not running in our favor, we'll say that it is all written here. Okay, whatever is written, it will happen. Okay, that is what is known as Ajivika Vada or Niyati Vada, it is called as, which is also known as fatalism. Okay, and Bindusara is a very popular believer in this concept of fatalism. Okay, so and along with that, during his time, okay, he maintained very good relation with the Greek kings who are present outside of the Indian subcontinent, sir. Okay, he used to regularly exchange ambassadors with the people who are present in the Greek world, the kings who are present, because after the death of Alexander, Alexander's empire, it got divided into numerous smaller states, sir. Okay, one Greek state was established in Syria. Okay, Syria mein there is one Greek state. Then apart from Syria, okay, one more Greek state was established in Egypt, one more in Central Asia, one more in West Asia. So this way there were numerous Greek kings who are present in different parts of West Asia, and he maintained very good relations with the Greek rulers, sir. And as part of this good relation itself, okay, one of the Greek rulers of Syria by the name of Antiochus. Okay, Antiochus is the Greek ruler of Syria. He is the one who sent an ambassador to the court of Bindusara, and this ambassador is known as Demicus. Okay, but the book that he has written, it is lost in history. We don't have any evidence of the book that he has written, but he definitely has written a book on India, and he stayed in Bindusara's court for extended period of time, sir. Is it all right? This is the second one. Okay, then apart from that, okay, he also, or Bindusara, he sent an ambassador to the Greek king of Syria, and he requested him to send, okay, the fine wine of the Greek world, because Italy produces the best quality wine in the world, because grape cultivation is very prominent there. He requested for some wine and figs. Fig means, okay, the dried grapes are known as figs, right? Okay, so fig, okay, wine, and he also asked to send one Greek philosopher to India. Okay, but the Syrian king, he sent wine and figs, but he did not send any philosopher to India, primarily because he said that the Greek philosophers are not meant to be traded. Okay, so this is one more story about the interaction between Bindusara and, okay, the Greek king of Syria, who is known as Antiochus. Okay, and he sent wine and figs, but he did not send any philosopher to India. Is it making sense, sir? Yes. So this is the story of Bindusara, and during his lifetime itself, what he did is he divided the Mauryan empire into various provinces, sir. Okay, he created one province in this Gandhara region with its capital at Takshila. Second one is he created one more province here called Avanti with its capital at Ujjain. Is it all right? And he created a third province with its capital at this place called Suvarnagiri. Are you getting this, sir? And to each province, he appointed, okay, a king or his son as the governor, sir. And as part of this division of the empire and appointment of governors, he appointed his son, okay, Ashoka, as the governor of Ujjain province. Okay, whereas he appointed his eldest son, Susima, as the governor of the Gandhara province. Okay, but during the lifetime of his father, that is Bindusara itself, what happened is in Takshila, there emerged a major rebellion against Susima because he was collecting excessive taxes in Gandhara. And okay, Susima was unable to handle this rebellion. At this point of time, Ashoka was sent in order to suppress this rebellion, sir. And Ashoka used the most cruelest of means in order to suppress the general public, and he was able to bring law and order back to Gandhara, sir. Okay, and after that he became the joint governor of both Gandhara and, okay, Ujjain. Then after that, Bindusara, he had an untimely death. So because of some disease, he died. Okay, and after his death, nearly for 4 years, there was no king for the Mauryan empire. Primarily because all his sons, they started a war of succession, sir. And according to the Buddhist chronicles, in this war of succession, Ashoka, aided by his governor by the name of Radhagupta, so both of them together, they killed nearly 99 sons of Bindusara, is one story which is in fact circulated. But usually the Buddhist chronicles, they try to over exaggerate things, sir. Okay, primarily because in order to over exaggerate Ashoka as a cruel person. Okay, so because if you want to show transformation, then first you have to show him as cruel, then only he became good. Yes, sir. Not decentralization, sir, but to his king's states he has established. Okay, not absolute decentralization. Okay, but what he did is he gave the power to governors to govern the region, but the absolute power, it lied with the king only. He did not divide them into separate kingdoms. These are like states and central government. No feudalism, because all of them are sons of the king. If an outsider is present, then it becomes feudalism. Okay, this is all are sons of kings only. They are known as Kumaras. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So at this point of time, okay, the Buddhist chronicles, they state that Ashoka, in this 4-year span, he killed 99 of his brothers, and after that he took over the throne of the Mauryan empire. Okay, but according to historical tradition, okay, Ashoka only had 6 brothers, sir, of which, okay, 4 brothers, okay, they died before Ashoka became the emperor, Okay, and only two brothers they survived along with Ashoka, and during his time also they were playing a very important role in the Mauryan Empire, which is in fact present in the Ashokan pillars itself. Pillar inscription mein he refers to his brothers who are governors of various provinces. Okay, then the story of Buddhism is false. Yes or no? Okay, so they are in fact trying to create a movie here. Yes, so 99 brothers ko maar ke, okay, so they are in part inspired by the story of Kauravas who are 100 brothers. Okay, so that way they are inspired by various things. And now Ashoka Maurya, he became the ruler of Patliputra, sir. And after becoming the ruler of Patliputra, the thing is, okay, by the time his father and grandfather, they were able to occupy most of Indian subcontinent, but the province of Kalinga, it was in fact, okay, independent from the Magadhan Empire, sir. Okay, it was not part of the Magadhan Empire, even though Mahapadmananda, he occupied this region. Later date during Dhanananda period, okay, this region came out of the control of Mauryans, okay, and it was surviving as an independent province. And in this Kalinga province, what was happening is, okay, there was no single king. In fact, there were numerous tribal assemblies and councils which were present in the Kalinga province. And the Kalinga province, it had, okay, some of the most prominent ports of eastern coast of India. And by the time of Mauryans, the Mauryans started interacting with the Southeast Asian regions. Particularly, they had trade relations with the Southeast Asian region. And in these trade relations, what happened is, some tribes of the Kalinga region, they started, okay, conducting piratical activities on this trade. Okay, piracy they started conducting, and they started destroying the ships of the Mauryan Empire. This was causing a lot of displeasure to the Mauryan Emperor on one side. Then second thing is, Ashoka Maurya, okay, he had an imperial ambition to create the largest empire the world has ever seen. He was a hardcore imperialist, and once he became the ruler too, he used to impose very harsh punishments on people, sir. He used to collect excessive taxes. Then apart from that, he used to in fact, okay, use tortures in order to punish the prisoners, sir. Okay, in fact, he just beside his palace, he constructed a huge well of tortures, okay, wherein he used to take his prisoners, and there he used to personally supervise their torture. Okay, so this is also one more story of the Buddhist chronicles itself. We don't know whether it is true or not. Okay, so well of tortures also he created. So this way, he was a cruel monarch with imperial ambitions. He wanted to create a large empire, and Kalinga also is involved in the piratical activities which is disturbing the law and order in the Magadhan Empire. So because of these factors, he planned on attacking Kalinga, sir. So because of this, okay, in fact, he invaded with the largest army, okay, which India has seen till then on the province of Kalinga. Okay, but in Kalinga, the local population, they defended their territory with, okay, great courage. In fact, this battle was so bloody that nearly 150,000 soldiers, they died on each side of the battle, sir. And the battle, it got extended till 9 years. So this battle was not fought just in 1 year, it was fought for 9 years during Ashoka Maurya's reign. And in this battle, nearly in total, somewhere around 3 lakh people were killed. And this is in fact the evidence of the number, it comes from directly Ashokan inscription only. So 150,000 people were killed, and apart from killing of 150,000 people, he was able to capture nearly 150,000 prisoners of war in his attack in Kalinga. In fact, the war was so brutal, okay, that in fact one of the rivers of Odisha, it started flowing in red color. Okay, which is the river? Daya river, right? Okay, nearby to Tosali or Dhauli. Dhauli, yes, nearby to Dhauli, this river is there. So the river also started flowing in red color, sir. So, and looking at the brutalities of the war, Ashoka immediately after the war, he started rethinking about his position, rethinking about his ideas, and slowly he started getting attracted towards Buddhism, primarily because of a Buddhist monk who is known as Upagupta. Upagupta is a Buddhist monk who started preaching the values of Buddhism to Ashoka, and he is the only ruler in the world who after victory, what he did is he had a transformation of heart. Usually people tend to change when they lose in wars. Yes or no? Okay, usually the victor thinks that whatever he has done is absolutely correct. Is it true or not? Okay, but Ashoka Maurya, the most important transformation for this person, it occurred even after he won the war. And after he won the war, looking at the brutalities of the war and the large scale casualties which happened in the war, what he did is he moved away from war, sir. He moved away from violence, and he became a transformed monarch after killing nearly 3 lakh people. Okay, 3 lakh people, after the death of nearly 3 lakh people, he became a transformed monarch, and thereafter, okay, he started preaching an ideal of his which is known as which is in fact the moral code that he preached for the common people, sir. Okay, but this transformation, okay, there is some problems with this transformation, primarily because if he gets completely transformed, he should give Kalinga back to the local population. Yes or no? Okay, but he did not do that, number one. Then he captured nearly 1,50,000 prisoners of war and he transported all of them to Magadha. And there he made them work in the Sita lands as free slave labor for the Magadhan Empire. Which one? Yes, please. No. Reason kya tha? Because of his imperialism and the defenses of local population also made the war more brutal. Okay, the local people were not ready to surrender. Okay, the last man also, they were fighting continuously against Ashoka Maurya. Okay, when they lost the physical battle, they continued guerrilla warfare, sir. Okay, this way the war, it got extended for quite some time. Okay, it's not just a affair which occurred in 1 year. It took nearly 9 years for this war. From its start to conclusion, it took 9 years. Are you getting? 8 years. Is it given 8 years there? Okay, so maybe, okay, 8 years. Yes, maybe 8 years. So this way, okay, this is the story of Ashoka Maurya's war with Kalinga. Let's have a look at this slide till here. Then after that, his transformation, what kind of new ideas he has brought in Mauryan administration, we'll discuss separately. Is it all right? Okay, so just see this, sir. Chandragupta Maurya, please write his timeline, sir. Chandragupta Maurya, write his timeline. His timeline is 322 to 298 BC. 322 to 322 to 298 BC, founder of the Mauryan dynasty. Okay, many claimed Chandragupta Maurya to be a Shudra. Okay, he is, in fact, he belonged to the Shudra Varna. He is a tribe, okay, who belongs to the tribe called Maurya tribe. Okay, so most of the Brahmanical texts, they call the Mauryans to be Shudra. They call them to be Shudra, but only the Buddhist chronicles, they talk them or they call them as Kshatriyas. Okay, because they did not want the patrons of Buddhism to be people who belong to the lower Varnas. Okay, that is the reason why they changed it. But originally, according to the historical tradition, they are originally Shudras. Okay, Shudras then replaced Nanda dynasty by overthrowing Dhanananda, reconquered entire North India, fought a battle against Seleucus Nicator and won the battle, got control over Afghanistan. As a symbol of friendship, Seleucus Nicator sent an ambassador to Chandragupta Maurya, and it was Megasthenes. As a return gift, Chandragupta Maurya gave 100 elephants, not 100, sir, it is 500 elephants. Please change it to 500. Okay, he gave or he gifted 500 elephants. Then he abdicated his throne and came to Shravana-Belogola and performed Salekana, that is fasting till death. Okay, Hemchandra Suri in his book Persist Parvan narrated this incident. He was succeeded by Bindusara. Okay, so you write these two things, sir. Sahagura and Mahasthan inscriptions. Write it down. Sahagura. Okay, please write them down. Sahagura and Mahasthan inscriptions of CGM talk about his famine relief measures. Talked about his famine relief measure. Chandragupta migrated, CGM, right? CGM migrated to south as a Digambara Jaina. CGM migrated to south as a Digambara Jaina. Okay, as a Digambara Jaina under the leadership of Bhadra Bahu. Right. Okay, Bhadra Bahu. Under the leadership of Bhadra Bahu. Okay, Bhadra Bahu. Is it all right, sir? Sahagura and Mahasthan inscription, famine relief measures of Chandragupta Maurya I talked about, and he came down south under the leadership of Bhadra Bahu. Then the next one is Bindusara. You see this? So 298 to 273 BC. Ajivika by faith. Okay, so believer in fate. Ajivika means believer in fate. Fate. Okay, fatalism it is called as believer in fate. He maintained friendly relations with the Greek kings of Syria, requested the Greek kings to send sophists fig and wine, Greeks sent fig and wine, but not sophists, as philosophers are not meant to be traded. Philosopher means, one more term for philosopher is sophist. Okay, so father of Ashoka Maurya was Bindusara. Then you write this statement, sir. So the Greek king of Syria, write it down. The Greek king of Syria, Antiochus I. Antiochus I. Antiochus I sent Dimachus. So write his name down. Dimachus. Dimachus. Okay. Antiochus I sent Dimachus as an ambassador to his court. Dimachus as an ambassador to his court. Dimachus to his court. All right. Okay. And he is also known as Amitra Ghata. Write it down. Okay. He is also known as Amitra. Is it given there? No. Okay. Okay. Is also known as Amitra Ghata. Amitra Ghata. 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 Amitra Ghata. Okay. Ghata. Okay. Whatever it might be. So then next one is, okay, Ashoka Maurya. Okay. Next one is Ashoka Maurya. So his time period is 273 to 232 BC. Okay, 273 to 232 BC. Initially, he was the governor or Kumara of Ujjain province. Taxila was governed by his brother Susima. People revolted against Susima. Ashoka was sent to govern Taxila and became protector of northwest from foreign invasions. Became emperor by killing his brothers with the help of his minister Radhagupta. Please write it down. That statement of Radhagupta is not there. Okay, he became the emperor, okay, with the help of his minister called Radhagupta. Okay, Radhagupta. After coming to power, okay, he had a cruel administration, had a well of tortures for the criminals. Okay, fought Kalinga war for nearly 8 years, lot of human suffering, nearly 150,000 people died on each side. So he had a change of heart and started associating with Buddhism. Okay, so and primarily Upagupta, okay, 8-year-old monk after Kalinga war converted Ashoka into Buddhism. So before that, Ashoka was a Shaivite. Okay, before the conversion, he was a Shaivite, and he was converted into Buddhism by Upagupta. Shaivite means belief in Shiva. Okay, Shiva, Shaivite it is called as Shaivism or Shaivite. Okay, so before that he was a Shaivite and he was converted into Buddhism. Okay, what is the river name, sir? Okay, these kind of things are usually asked as question. Daya river. Okay, okay, please write it down. Okay, so you write the river name too. Okay, the battle, the Kalinga war was fought on the banks of river Daya. Okay, river Daya at Dhauli. Okay, at Dhauli. Okay, so you know half carved elephant of Dhauli. Okay, it is present in the same place, right? Half carved elephant, one stone is, they started carving but they left it midway. Okay, so I'll show the image also later. So this is the story of Ashoka Maurya. Okay, then now I will explain, okay, what happened to Ashoka, okay, after his conversion. Okay, I'll explain in very simple terms, sir. The essence of Ashoka's Dhamma, we will try and understand it first. Okay, because Ashoka's Dhamma can be asked as an ethics question in itself or UPSC mains question in itself, sir. Okay, history में भी पूछ सकते हैं, ethics में भी पूछ सकते हैं. Primarily because Dhamma is a very important concept in, okay, the Indian ethical thought. Okay, what this Dhamma exactly means, okay, what is the message that he wanted to preach to the public, what kind of transformation he had after the war in Kalinga, all of these things we will discuss as part of this story. Okay, listen to me carefully. So when it comes to Ashoka, okay, after that he slowly started getting attracted towards Buddhism, and by taking some key elements of Buddhism, he started, okay, preaching a moral code for the general public, sir. A moral code for the general public. It is not any religion in itself. And Ashoka, through his Dhamma, he did not try to promote Buddhism. He tried to promote a moral code of conduct in human life, sir. Primarily because after the war, he started reflecting upon himself, what parts of his nature led to the war of Kalinga, and the loss of human life, he started reflecting upon it. And in his reflections, he understood that the human nature has some negative elements in it. By coming out of this negative element, people can find eternal peace. And whatever understanding he got, he wanted to preach the same message to the general public, primarily because in his country there were numerous conflicts between the people. Okay, during the time of Ashoka, the Buddhists, the Jain and Hindus, they were fighting against each other. The people of different regions of India, they were fighting against each other. Okay, people were in fact performing large rituals and sacrifices in which animal life is being sacrificed. So because of all these factors, he started sitting, thinking and reflecting, and he wanted to promote a moral code among the general public, and this moral code he gave the name of Dhamma. And when it comes to Dhamma, it has 4 key elements to it, sir. The 4 key elements of Dhamma are, number 1 is, okay, ahimsa. That is, people should take the non-violent path. The second one is samanvaya. Samanvaya means tolerance. Okay, people should have tolerance towards the people of other faith. The third one is saubhratatva. Saubhratatva is nothing but fraternity. Okay, a feeling of brotherhood among the people. If it develops naturally, the conflicts will come down. Yes, saubhratatva is the third concept, and the fourth concept that he emphasized on is shil. Shil means conduct. Yes or no? Okay, in fact, it is a very important idea of Buddhism, and what he did is he used the concept of shil, wherein he emphasized on very good conduct in order to lead a moral life, sir. Is it all right? These are the 4 key ideas of his. Then apart from these 4 key ideas, he also talks about 2 concepts. One is bhavasuddhi and the second one is, okay, this dhammaguna. So bhavasuddhi means in your thought itself you should have purity. Then only your actions will reflect the same purity. Then he also talks about one more idea called bhavasuddhi. Bhavasuddhi is done. Then the second one is dhammaguna. Dhammaguna is ethics in action. How you should behave with others is talked about in dhammaguna. And what he did is, along with these 6 qualities, he gave an elaborate list of duties of people in various walks of life. Okay, what he talks about is how should a husband treat his wife and children. He gives a long note about it. How should the wife behave with husband, okay, and the family members. He gives a long note about the duties of wife. He talks about the duties of master towards slave and the slave towards master. He talks about the duties of the government officials. So what they should be doing, all of these things he discusses elaborately as part of his inscriptions. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? And this is the core philosophy of Dhamma. And as he did not have any Facebook wall post at that point of time, what he did is he carved the message onto actual walls. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So he found large rock boulders in different parts of the country, and initially he started carving his message onto these large rock boulders. And the basic essence is these 6 to 7 concepts are the basic essence of his philosophy, sir. One is ahimsa, second one is samanvaya, third one is saubhratatva, fourth is shil, fifth one is bhavasuddhi, sixth one is dhammaguna, and the seventh one is duties of life, okay, of every walk of life towards the other people who are associated with us. So these are the 7 core principles of Ashoka's Dhamma. Okay, and we usually know about many people who are very good at preaching but very poor at practicing. Yes or no? Ashoka knew about this limitation. That is the reason why in whichever places he has erected his pillars, what he did is he gave personal examples of how he is implementing these same principles in his own life, sir. Are you following what I'm trying to say? So in fact, as part of ahimsa, what this person did is after the Kalinga war, he completely left Berigosha. Berigosha means war. Okay, he left Berigosha, and in its place, he started a concept called Dhammagosha. He started believing that if you want to conquer someone, okay, physically conquering them is not very, very important. But what you can do is, if you can influence them through your ideas, you should consider it to be your moral victory. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Ideology. Yes. Okay. So rather than physically winning over someone, it is better to win over someone by influencing their moral conduct or behavior, that he calls as Dhamma Vijaya. He replaced, okay, this Berigosha with Dhammagosha, which finally leads to Dhamma Vijaya. And as part of this Dhamma Vijaya, what this person did is he sent his ambassadors across the world in order to preach his Dhamma. And the kings who accepted his Dhamma, he automatically considered those kingdoms also part of the Mauryan Empire. He did not physically conquer them. He will send ambassador. If the king accepts this Dhamma, automatically he considers that territory also under his own control. And as part of this Dhamma Vijaya, he was able to achieve the Dhamma Vijaya in Sri Lanka, sir. The only state which accepted voluntarily the concept of Dhamma is Sri Lanka. And it is Ashoka who sent or who took Buddhism to Sri Lanka along with his Dhamma. This is one. Then he sent ambassadors to all the Greek kings who are present in West and Central Asia. Many ambassadors he has sent, but these rulers, they did not consider or take the idea of Dhamma very seriously. But he talks about how he is sending these emissaries in order to attain Dhamma Vijaya through Dhamma Gosha. Dhamma Gosha is you try to counsel someone about your ideas. And based on that, if they listen to you, then you consider it to be your own victory. Are you following this, sir? This is one. Okay, so one first and foremost concept is Beri Gosha se Dhamma Gosha, which will lead to Dhamma Vijaya. First one. Second one is as part of the concept of Ahimsa himself, he started shifting towards a vegetarian diet, sir. So earlier he was a pure non-vegetarian, but now he shifted to a vegetarian diet. But Ashoka in his inscription, he states that even though he has shifted to vegetarian diet, he had a great liking for peacock meat. That is the reason why only once a week he is consuming peacock meat. Cheat day, yes. But even if he states that he has become a pure vegetarian, who is going to ask him? Are you getting? It is a very personalized and honest account that he is giving to the public about the changes, the struggles that he is facing, and how he wants to bring in the concept of Ahimsa. Iske baare mein usne elaborately he has written, and he also talked about his limitations also in the same. Is it all right? Then the third thing, Ahimsa mein first Dhamma Gosha, second one is vegetarianism, and as part of his principle of Ahimsa himself, what he did is he started banning the big public sacrifices and rituals which are being conducted in India at the point of time, which is leading to killing of a lot of cattle wealth. So in fact there were huge public ceremonies which were conducted at the point of time, which are known as samajits. And Ashoka immediately after preaching his Dhamma, he banned the practice of samajit and he tried to protect the cattle wealth of the country. Is it all right, sir? Then the second principle of his is Samanvaya and Saubhratatva. Samanvaya means what? Tolerance. Saubhratatva means what? Brotherlyhood. So in fact, in order to promote Samanvaya itself, he started appointing new brand of officials who are known as Dhamma Mahammatas. And the primary purpose of Dhamma Mahammatas is they have to promote interreligious understanding. When people understand the basic philosophy of other religion, then automatically there will be more tolerance towards them. Yes or no? Only through the unknown fear you tend to hate other people, but if you know them and their philosophy, then automatically there will be more understanding between you people. And the primary work of Dhamma Mahammatas is to promote interreligious understanding is number one. Then second is Dhamma Mahammatas are supposed to patronize the religious scholars of all religions which are present in India. They started paying money to the Brahmins, they started paying money and food to the Buddhists, Jains and Ajivikas. All the sects in India, they were patronized by Ashoka's Dhamma Mahammatas. Is it all right, sir? Second one. Then the third one is the concept of Saubhratatva, that is brotherliness. Brotherliness he tried to promote, by what he did is, in fact through the Dhamma Mahammatas itself, what he did is, he started, an yatra called Dhamma Yatra. Dhamma Yatra, wherein he started, going from one place to another place in India, talking to the people directly, understanding their problems, resolving their conflicts. By doing all these things, he tried to promote the concept of Samanvaya, not Saubhratatva among the people. Are you getting this? Dhamma Yatra means what? Earlier he says that he used to regularly go for Vihara Yatras. Vihara Yatras were hunting expeditions of the king, and he replaced these hunting expeditions with Dharma Yatras, wherein he goes and meets people, resolve their conflicts and promote brotherliness among them. That is the third one. Is it clear? Then fourth is Sheel, right? Sheel means conduct, and through conduct what he did is he himself wanted to become the best specimen of a good conduct, sir. And he wanted to perform all his kingly duties with utmost interest. Are you following this? That is the reason why he became a very active monarch immediately after the Kalinga war. He used to listen to the problems of his people, and any person can go and directly meet the emperor himself in order to put forward his problems to him. That is a very good thing. Open or very easily accessible emperor he became. Number one. Then number two is, as part of the Sheel itself, what he did is he started talking about the concept of paternal despotism again. He gave a statement in his okay, pillar inscriptions that Sabe Manushe Paja Mama. It means that all the people are the children to the king. Sabe Manushe Paja Mama is the statement that he made, which means that all the people are children to the king is the idea of paternal despotism which he displayed through his inscriptions. Is it clear? Not just preaching, but he practiced the same thing too. And then along with that, in order to protect the life of people, he started, okay, laying down elaborate roads first, and on the sides of roads he started planting trees. Okay, for traders to have or to travel in shade, he started deliberately planting trees on the sides of the roads. Then apart from that, at regular places he started establishing hospitals for humans, and he is the world's first emperor who established hospitals independently for animals too. Yeah, animal hospitals were first started by Ashoka only. World over, there is no other ruler who has done this. Is it clear? So that is the reason why the Ashoka's transformation after Kalinga war, it is considered to be one of the significant event in moral history of the world. Okay, now he became victorious. He usually a victor, he wants to conquer more lands, right? Okay, but after becoming victorious too, he maintained, okay, a very good state without any violence. Okay, but despite of these principles, okay, these principles, they look like the principles of a sannyasi, right? Yes or no? Excessive ethics and idealism is associated usually with sannyasi. Yes, but Ashoka is a governing monarch who followed these principles, sir. Okay, because in running of a state, usually people tend to become violent. Yes or no? In running of state, usually unethical actions are taken up. But Ashoka, even while he was a ruler, he maintained these principles of Dhamma, sir. This is very, very important thing about Ashoka. And one more important area of Ashoka is, despite of these ideas of his, he was very well aware about the realistic demands of the state. That is the reason why he did not give back Kalinga to the locals. Number one. Then second is, what he did is, okay, by understanding the realistic demands of the state, he never did away with the death penalty, sir. Even after converting to this Buddhism, Dhamma, okay, he continued with imposition of death penalty, and regularly for even small crimes in Mauryan Empire, amputation is a general punishment. Amputation means what? Cutting off hands and legs. Okay, amputation is generally resorted to. Number two, and he never disbanded his army. Army was exactly the same. In fact, he even strengthened the army. He regularly used to conduct military parades also. So that is one more thing. So he did not disband his army. Then along with that, see, in one very famous inscription of Ashoka, which is known as 13th Major Rock Edict, he warns the tribals. Okay, he warns the tribals of, okay, various regions, saying that if the tribes attack the general settled population, then I am going to impose very harsh punishments on you. Okay, so this is one more statement that he made. So that is the reason why Ashoka's Dhamma, it is considered to be a velvet glove in an iron hand. Okay, the hand is iron, but the outside is gloved with velvet. If you touch it, it will look very smooth. But if you try to crush it, okay, it will crush your hand back. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So this way, okay, he tried to balance both idealism and realism through his concept of Dhamma. Is it making sense, sir? Okay, so there is a good possibility of a very good question on this concept of Dhamma. Okay, so the basics of Dhamma, I think you have understood it clearly. Yes? Okay, so and one more thing is, Ashoka, after the war in Kalinga, he erected inscriptions. Okay, but in the inscriptions which are part of Odisha region, he never talked about his remorse for Kalinga war. Only in the inscriptions which are placed in other places, he talked about his bad feeling because of the Kalinga war. Okay, in the Kalinga region, he never talks about his remorsefulness because of the Kalinga war. Very practical person, sir. Yes or no? Okay, very, very practical person. His remorse was, okay, confined to other regions, but not to Kalinga. Okay, so that is one more thing. So let's have a look at this. So post conversion, after this he started preaching the concept called Dhamma. Okay, he controlled the entire subcontinent from Afghanistan to Assam, Jammu and Kashmir to Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Wanted to preach morality, ethics of submissiveness to the country. Dhamma is based on solving conflicts, which is the religious strife between orthodox and heterodox sects in his empire. Is it all right? Okay, so it is primarily meant to resolve the conflicts in society. Okay, now you see these four ideas of Dhamma are Ahimsa, Saubhratutva, Samanvaya and Shila. Okay, Shila is Shil. Okay, it is also called as Shil. Shil means conduct. You might be knowing about Panchshil. Okay, Panchshil is the 5 principles between India and China. So shield always means it is a Buddhist concept. Shield means conduct here. Okay, shield means conduct. Okay, Ashoka practiced what he preached. Okay, animal sacrifices, ahimsa, banned animal sacrifice practiced during his period, banned all form of samajits. Samajits means sacrifices. Okay, so then Sauvratatva and Samanvaya established a new brand of officers called Dhamma Mahamatas for preaching. Their function is to patronize all religions. Okay, so he is the first to resolve religious conflict. Okay, there you write one statement. Dhamma Mahamatas are supposed to promote interreligious understanding. Are supposed to promote interreligious understanding. Okay, interreligious understanding. Okay, so he replaced conquest by war with Dhammagosha. Yes, I told about this. So I will not conquer by war, but with Dhamma I will conquer. No need for physical conquering. If the enemy kingdom follows his Dhamma, he will consider it as his territory. Okay, now Dhamma Vijaya, win by means of Dhamma, replaced Vihara Yatra with Dhamma Yatra, tours to promote Dhamma among public. Also took up a vegetarian diet, semi-vegetarian diet, but he will have peacock weekly once. Okay, that is a semi-vegetarian diet that he followed. Okay, then once more is Shila. He constitutes of two aspects for having ethical conduct. Okay, Dhamma Guna is one, second one is Bhava Shuddhi. These are important, sir. What should you do? That is obedience, moderation, liberality. All of these things are Dhamma Guna. Ethics in action. Bhava Shuddhi is purity in thought. Okay, Bhava Shuddhi is purity in thought, self-control, devotion, all of these things he talked about. Okay, so then, okay, write one more statement there, sir. Okay, Bhava Shuddhi, then write one more statement there. He talks about the duties of people in various walks of life. Talks about duties of people in various walks of life. He talks about the duties of husband to wife, wife to husband, master to slave, and slave to master. It is there. Okay, where? I didn't know. Okay. If it is given there, then it is good, sir. Okay, so then it is good. Okay, so if it's given, please highlight it. Okay, now, so this Dhamma of Ashoka, he preached through his inscriptions. Okay, and if you look at the inscriptions, these inscriptions are very unique, sir, because there are nearly 4 different kinds of inscriptions. One is known as the major rock edict. Second one is known as minor rock edict. Third one is known as major pillar edict. Fourth one is known as minor pillar edict. Okay, apart from these 4 types of edicts, there are some edicts which are known as commemorative edicts. Okay, commemorative edicts too are present, and these commemorative edicts, they are in fact installed in places where Ashoka used to go for Dhamma Yatra. Okay, so 5 different kinds of edicts were there: major pillar, major rock. Okay, then along with that, these commemorative edicts are the major, okay, edicts of Ashoka. In fact, the major rock edicts are the ones which are in fact carved onto large natural stones. The large natural stones and boulders way, if the inscription is given, then it is known as major rock edict. Then the pillar edicts are usually the large monolithic pillars which Ashoka erected at different places with numerous animals as capitals. Okay, these are the pillar edicts. And most of the pillar edicts, they are confined to the Indo-Gangetic belt. Whereas the rock edicts, they are present in different parts of India, okay, ranging from Kandahar to, okay, so South India, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh region, you find numerous rock and edicts of Ashoka, but the pillar edicts are confined to the Indo-Gangetic belt only. Is it alright? Okay, and these pillars are monolithic pillars which have been carved by the sculptors of Ashoka, which contain beautiful capitals on their top. Is it alright? Now, just have a look at the map of Ashokan pillars which are given here. Okay, so I will ask you to highlight some important rock edicts. Please highlight them, sir. So the first one is this Kandahar major rock edict. You highlight it. Kandahar. Okay, it is a bilingual inscription. It is a bilingual inscription given in both Greek and Aramaic. Bilingual inscription given in Greek and Aramaic. Aramaic, A-R-A-M-I-C, Aramaic. Okay, two languages it is given. Then, okay, the next important one is this one which is known as Girnar. Next major rock edict is present at Girnar. Okay, Girnar, and this inscription, it is given nearby to Sudarshana lake. There itself you write. It is given nearby to Sudarshana. Okay, Sudarshana lake, it is given nearby to Girnar inscription. Alright, okay, Girnar inscription, it is given nearby to the Sudarshana lake. Then after this, the next major inscription is this inscription which is known as Erragudi inscription. It is in fact the southernmost inscription of, no, please don't write it. Okay, Brahmagiri. Okay, you write this down. Brahmagiri is the southernmost inscription. Write it down. Don't write nearby to Erragudi. You write Brahmagiri is the southernmost inscription of Ashoka. Okay, southernmost inscription. Yes. Okay, southernmost inscription is Brahmagiri inscription only. It's not given here. Then after this, okay, you see this two inscriptions of Odisha. They are important. Jaugada is one, Dhauli is second. Okay, Jaugada and Dhauli, these two are called as Kalingan inscriptions. Jaugada and Dhauli. Okay, Jaugada and Dhauli are important inscriptions. Okay, so then thereafter, okay, in North India, okay, primarily this major rock edict is present which is known as Kalsi. You highlight that Kalsi. Okay, Kalsi is one more rock edict of Ashoka. Okay, so these are the famous rock edicts of Ashoka. Okay, now if you look at the pillar edicts, okay, in pillar edicts there are many which are designated here. Okay, but the things that we need to remember is, okay, so this pillar edicts I'll dictate something, sir, please write down. Pillar edicts, major pillar edicts of Ashoka, you write there, are present at Sarnath, Sanchi, Rampurva and Sankisa. Sarnath, Sanchi, Rampurva and Sankisa. Sankisa. Okay, so I'll spell it out for you. Sankisa. Sankisa. Okay, Sankisa is the third place. Okay, so fourth place Sanchi, Sarnath, Rampurva and Sankisa. Okay, so these are the pillar edicts. Important sites for pillar edicts are these. Now, okay, so if you look at, okay, so these major rock edicts and pillar edicts, so I have given some description about them. So please see this. So in fact the Indian emblem is also taken from the pillar at Sarnath, which contained the 4 lion emblem. Yes. So and some others, okay, of Ashoka, some other pillars of Ashoka, they also have animal emblems on their tops. Okay, so just take the case of this, okay, pillar capital is, let's suppose if it looks this way, on top you have usually some animals. Okay, usually you find the 4 lion capital which is originally found at Sarnath. Okay, and the same 4 lion capital, it was also present at Sanchi, and in some other places you have this capital which is single lion capital, only 1 lion. Then in some places you have the capital of bull, okay, Rampurva. Okay, Rampurva is a bull capital, and in at one place Sankisa you have a capital which is made of elephant. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So this way different images were carved and placed on top of the elephant. Okay, so on top of the pillar. Then after this, the next one is Kandahar is the only edict which is bilingual in nature, Greek and Aramaic. Okay, and in most of the inscriptions of Ashoka, Ashoka did not name himself as Ashoka, sir. Usually he is referred to as Devanampiya. Okay, so in most of his inscription he is referred to as Devanampiya. Devanampiya means the beloved of the gods. Okay, and it is the Musky inscription which first named Ashoka as Ashoka. Okay, Musky inscription is the one which first named Ashoka as Ashoka. In most of other inscriptions, he is either referred to as Devanampiya or he is referred to as Piyadasi. Okay, Piyadasi. Piyadasi means the beloved of the people. Okay, Piyadasi. Devanampiya, Piyadasi. Okay, and in some others, he was in fact referred to as Dhammashoka. And in some others, he is referred to as Buddha Shakya. It's not given there, write it down. Devanampiya, Piyadasi, he is called as, or Buddha Shakya and Dhamma Kosha. Dhamma Shoka, not Kosha. Dhamma Shoka, Buddha Shakya is one more title, Devanampiya and Piyadasi. So in fact, he has nearly 4 titles, and the first inscription which names Ashoka as Ashoka is Musky inscription, sir. Okay, later day, many other inscriptions were found of Ashoka which names him. Okay, of these inscriptions, one more prominent inscription of Ashoka is this Ashoka inscription which is known as Kanganhalli inscription. This has been asked as a UPSC prelims question. Okay, I think yesterday when you showed the CDS paper, there also the question was there. Okay, Kanganhalli inscription. So in fact, the Kanganhalli inscription, it calls Ashoka as Ranayo Ashoka. Okay, Ranayo means warrior. Okay, warrior Ashoka is the title which is given to Ashoka in this inscription called Kanganhalli inscription. And along with the title of Ranayo Ashoka, nearby to the Kanganhalli inscription itself, we find a relief image of Ashoka carved onto a wall. A relief image means what? Usually, some images, some sculpture are carved onto wall on one side. Okay, there are 2 kinds of sculpture. One is relief sculpture which is carved onto wall. One other kind of sculpture is the sculpture which is known as 3D sculpture. Okay, relief sculpture may you find the image of Ranayo Ashoka in Kanganhalli inscription. This is very unique one, sir. Is it alright? Okay, so Kanganhalli may. So Ranayo Ashoka is the title which has been given to him, but across all inscriptions, okay, the central message of Ashoka is exactly the same, sir. Same thing. Okay, so whatever I discussed earlier about Dhamma, in all the inscriptions it is the same. Only in commemorative inscriptions which he erected at Lumbini, okay, where Buddha is born, and he erected one more at the place where Buddha died, that is Kusinara. So in these commemorative inscriptions, he says that he has visited this particular place. Along with Dhamma, he says that he has visited this place. Is it clear? So the central message of all his inscriptions is exactly the same. Okay, only some peculiarities. If the inscription is given in Kalinga, don't talk about Kalingan war. So if the inscription is being given in, okay, so Kandahar and other northwest parts of India, don't talk about Buddhism, you talk about Zoroastrianism. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So this was in fact a practical moral code of his which is not associated with any one particular religion. Is it alright, sir? Okay, now just see this. So beloved of gods, Musky inscription first names Ashoka as Ashoka, then Ranayo Ashoka with stone portrait is present at Kanganhalli. And initially, okay, the script in which the Ashokan inscriptions, in fact this is very important, sir. Ashokan inscriptions are usually given in 3 languages, sir. 3 languages and 4 scripts. Please check it. It's given there. Most of the Ashokan inscriptions are given in 3 different languages and 4 different scripts. Is it given? Okay, this is very important, sir, because usually people tend to get confused between language and script. Script is the written word, language is the spoken word. Yes, the scripts of Ashokan inscriptions are, there are 4 different scripts, sir. Okay, Brahmi, Kharosthi, Aramic and Greek. Whereas his inscriptions, they are given in only 3 languages, that is Greek, Aramic and Prakrit. Kharosthi is a script, it is not a language. Are you understanding this, sir? Okay, see the difference between language and script. Okay, right now, whenever you type WhatsApp messages, what you do? You use the script of English, but language of Odia. Is it true or not? Yes, similarly here too, language is different, script is different. Brahmi, Kharosthi, Greek and Aramic are the scripts. Languages are Greek, Aramic and Prakrit. Prakrit is a language. Okay, it is a local language or local tongue which is spoken by the common people. It's called Prakrit. See this Prakrit, it is in fact the base or common language for all the languages which are present in across India. They share some common words with them. Later days, during the medieval time, they developed into different languages. But originally the base language was Prakrit only. Okay, the spoken word of people is called as Prakrit. Is it making sense, sir? So during the Ashoka Maurya period, there was no language based difference between people. All the people were speaking different tongues of Prakrit only. Okay, so this is the case. So these are the four scripts and 3 languages of Ashoka Maurya. Okay, so now I think you understood it. Now see this. Okay, so in fact, so initially, so here it is given wrongly. It is Brahmi was undecipherable. Please change it to Brahmi. Brahmi script was undecipherable. It's wrongly given as Prakrit, and James Prinsep is the first who deciphered Prakrit in Brahmi script. It's given wrongly there. Brahmi is a script, Prakrit in Brahmi script in 1837. Okay, Nehru was very much inspired by Ashoka Maurya and his message. That is the reason why he chose the Indian emblem as Sarnath pillar. Okay, then along with that, there is one important story in the life of Ashoka. So in order to preach Buddhism, he sent one of his son and daughter to Sri Lanka, sir. The son's name is Mahinda, the daughter's name is Sangamitra. So these are the 2 people who are being sent by Ashoka to Sri Lanka. Then apart from this, one more important story or personality in Ashoka's life is his wife, whose name is Trisa Rakita. Yes, Trisa Rakita is her name, and she is the one who killed or who tried to kill the Bodhi tree which is present in Bodh Gaya. Because she was jealous because her husband is giving more attention to Bodhi tree than to herself. Okay, this is a real story, sir. Okay, so it was killed. Okay, or she tried to kill it, but Ashoka luckily he saved the tree. She tried to poison the tree. Yeah, but this lady, he was able to save it. But later day, it was destroyed by the ruler of Bengal by the name of Shashanka. Okay, right now, whatever Bodhi tree is present in Bodh Gaya, it is not the original tree under which Buddha got enlightenment. What these people did is, during Ashoka Maurya time, he sent a sapling of the tree from India to Sri Lanka. And in Sri Lanka, the original Bodhi tree sapling, it survived in Anuradhapura. And later day, okay, so later day after Ashoka's death, after Guptan period, the same Anuradhapura tree, its sapling was brought back to Bodh Gaya again. Are you following this? Okay, so this is the story of the Bodhi tree. Please write it down. Okay, because this is an interesting story. They can ask a question here. Who tried to destroy? She did not destroy. She was not successful. Okay, Trisa Rakita is the wife of Ashoka, who tried to poison the Bodhi tree. Trisa Rakita is the wife of Ashoka, who tried to poison the Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya. Okay, Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya. Trisa Rakita. Okay, Trisa Rakita is the wife of Ashoka, who tried to destroy the Bodhi tree. Okay, in fact, this was part of a very famous painting of Abhindranath Tagore. That is the reason why, okay, I have included this section. So because that painting is a very prominent painting, they can ask a question on this story. Okay, you might be knowing about Abhindranath Tagore, the modern Mother India painting, okay, painter, who is a cousin of, okay, not cousin, nephew of Rabindranath Tagore, okay, Bengal School of Art. So the same person. So next one is, so he took up numerous public welfare activities. I talked about them. Special hospitals for animals, Sabha Manushe Paja Mama, all my subjects are my children, duty oriented life. Okay, his Dhamma is a moral code which goes beyond any religion. Okay, so he in fact set up the inscriptions to spread the concept of Dhamma. Okay, sent many Dhamma emissaries to preach his message, sent Mahinda and Sangamitra to Sri Lanka, Egypt, Macedonia, okay, Syria and Epirus. Okay, all these regions he sent his messenger to. Okay, messengers to all these regions within a span of 20 years after Ashoka. Okay, what happened is the Mauryan dynasty, it ended because of the assassination of the grandson of Ashoka by the name of Brihadrata by a person called Pushyamitra Sunga. Okay, this is the end of the Mauryan Empire. Okay, and he established the Sunga dynasty. So about Sunga dynasty, I'll talk separately, but I think so that there is some clarity on Ashoka Maurya and his Dhamma. Yes, the basic essence of his Dhamma, some peculiarities about Dhamma I talked about. So then along with that, Ashoka's actions where it is contrary to Dhamma, because sometimes when the question is asked as critically examined, then you have to write its limitations too. The limitations are this: did not give away Kalinga back, annexed Kalinga into Mauryan state, captured prisoners of war. Number 2, punishment of amputation still continued, used force against tribal invasion in his towns and cities, maintained his army, he did not disband it, and he tried to reconcile his ethical ideas with the realistic demands of state. Okay, so there you write one statement: because of Dhamma, Ashoka did not become a pacifist. Because of Dhamma, Ashoka did not become a pacifist. Pacifist means the person who loves peace at any cost is called as pacifist. Pacifist, P-A-C-I, pacifist, F-I-S-T. Ashoka did not become pacifist. He just tried to bring ethics into governance. He just tried to bring restricted, not complete non-violence, because while running a state you cannot be absolutely non-violent. Is it feasible, sir? He was not a pacifist, he just brought ethics into governance. Because of these limitations? No. See, pacifist means what? A person who loves peace at all costs, okay, whatever it might be. But is Ashoka a pacifist here? He is not a pacifist, right? So primarily what he did is, he is not considered to be a pacifist, just he tried to bring ethics into governance, that's it. Is it making sense, sir? Ethics into governance. So this is the important idea about Ashoka Maurya. So now next one is administrative structure of Ashoka Maurya or the Mauryan Empire. Okay, I'll discuss this broadly. Okay, you see the handout parallel, sir. In fact, the empire of Mauryan Empire, it was divided into some parts, sir. One is called Madhya Desha with its capital at Patliputra, and it is ruled directly by the king. Okay, so then the second part is known as the what is it called? Gandhara Ratha, or what is the second part? Uttarapata, Dakshinapata, Gandhara Ratha and Avanti Ratha. What is the names of the places, sir? Kalinga Ratha, Avanti Ratha, Uttarapata and Dakshinapata. Yes, so not Gandhara here. Okay, Uttarapata is the first one, and it had its capital at Takshila. Second one is Dakshinapata with its capital at Suvarnagiri. Then Kalinga Ratha, it had its capital at Tosali. Yes, Tosali is the capital for Kalinga Ratha. And the last one is this Ratha, which is known as Avanti Ratha, and it had its capital at this place called Ujjain. Okay, these are the main parts of his empire. Okay, so and for each part of the empire, they used to appoint a governor who they used to call as Kumara. Kumara is in fact the prince of royal blood. Okay, so who is the son and descendant of the king directly. They are the ones who only are appointed as Kumaras. Is it clear? One. Then below the Kumara, what happened is, below these states of Ashoka, there used to be districts. And what are the districts called as, sir? Vishayas? Take it once. Huh? Rajuka is the in charge. Okay, district's name is given there. Pradeshika and Rajuka are the administrators at district. Okay, I'll tell the names of the districts too. Rajukas and Pradeshikas are the administrators at a district. Then below district, there is this Tehsil, Taluka. Okay, so Tehsil or Taluka. And here, the in charge of Tehsil or Taluka is this person by the name of, please help me out here. Asthanika is the head. Okay, Gopa is also there? No. Assisted by Gopa. Okay, Asthanika and Gopa. Okay, Rajuka and Pradeshika, Asthanika and Gopa at Tehsil level. So they ask this kind of questions, sir. Okay, that is the reason why we need to know them. Then below that there is village level, there is Grama, and the head or in charge of Grama is known as Gramani. Gramani. Okay, Gramani is the person, so who is the head of each Gram. So this way the administration, it had a very broad structure. First Madhya Desha, where the king ruled territories, then after that the Kumara ruled territories, then below that district, below that tehsil, below that village. Is it alright? Then along with that, if you look at the central administration of Mauryans, usually the king is assisted by a Mantri Parishad, okay, who are high level ministers in the state. All of them put together are known as Mantri Parishad. Okay, they are known as the Council of Ministers. And below the Council of Ministers, there were in fact 3 different kinds of bureaucrats. One is known as Amatya, the second one is known as Tirtha, the third one is known as Adhyaksha. Okay, Amatya, Tirtha and Adhyaksha. Usually Amatya is a very high level bureaucrat, sir. It's not given there clearly. He is a high level bureaucrat, is known as Amatya. Usually Tirtha is a person who is the in charge of various departments in administration. Departments in administration are headed by Tirtha. He is a generalist. Whereas Adhyakshas are the people who are specialists in charge of, okay, each department is known as Adhyaksha. Is it clear? So 3 names, Amatya, okay, second one is Tirtha and the third one is Adhyaksha. So these 3 are different kinds of bureaucrats who are present in central administration. Is it making sense? Yes. So then thereafter, okay, if you look at the administration of urban areas in Mauryan Empire. So every urban area, it had its head who is known as Nagarak. Nagarak is the head of the urban administration in Mauryan Empire. And below Nagarak, again you have a post which is known as Sthanika, who is in fact in charge of various divisions in Mauryan Empire. And below Sthanika, you have a post called Gopa, who is in charge of each ward in Mauryan Empire is known as Gopa. Am I correct there? Okay, this is the urban administration. In fact, Megasthenes talks about 6 into 5, but that 6 into 5 system is not present here. In fact, the system which is present is this Nagaraka, Sthanika and Gopa. So this kind of administrative system is present in the Mauryan Empire. So these are the important things that we need to know from the Mauryan administration, sir. I think I missed some things, but I will cover it as part of the handout. All right. Okay. So now just have a look at the handout once. Okay. Emperor, he had all the sovereignty, central authority in Madhya Desha, which is Patliputra, Uttarapata, Takshila, Dakshinapata, Suvarnagiri, Avantirata, Ujjain, Kalinga. Capital is at Tosali or Dhauli. Okay. Both of them mean the same thing. Okay. Then Kumara, prince of royal blood, heads each province. Districts are headed by Rajuka, who is the head of revenue department. Rajuka is assisted by Yukta and Pradeshika. Okay, 2 important officials are Yukta and Pradeshika. Then Tehsil is headed by Sthanika. Sorry, Tehsil is called itself as Sthanika, sir. Okay, Tehsil itself is called as Sthanika and it is headed by Asthanika and assisted by Gopa. Then villages are known as Gramas and they were headed by Gramani. City administration, divisions and wards in each city. Head of urban administration is Nagarak. This term is very important. You put a star mark there. With respect to Mauryan India, the term Nagarak means what? Because the same term Nagarak, later day in Guptan period, it becomes an urban dweller. Okay, in Mauryan administration itself, he is known as the head of urban administration. Later day, the same term Nagarak is used for every city dweller during Guptan period. Making sense? Now, see the next one. So head of each division is called as Sthanika. Head of each ward is called as Gopa. Okay, so then central administration, council of ministers is called as Mantri Parishad. Amatya are known as, okay, top level bureaucrats. Please write it down. It's not given there. Amatya are considered as top level bureaucrats and there were numerous departments and each department is headed by a Tirtha. Tirtha is the generalist head of department is called Tirtha. Secretary, sir. Okay, usually we know each department has secretary of its own. Okay, Amatyas are top level bureaucrats and below them there is this head of each department is called as Tirtha. Then, okay, so head of revenue department is known as Samaharta and Sanidata. Okay, 2 officials for revenue department are called as Samaharta and Sanidata. And usually the CAG position in Mauryan Empire, it is called as Aksha Pataladhyaksha. Aksha Pataladhyaksha is like CAG. Okay, yes, accountant general he is. Then along with that, Adhyakshas are specialist head of department associated with the functioning of state. Arthashastra says that there are in total 34 different kinds of adhyakshas and their recruitment is based on merit. Here the spies in Mauryan Empire, they are known as Pulisanis. Okay, Pulisanis are the spies. Okay, Pulisanis are the spies, and the judicial system, okay, in fact it is a very elaborate judicial system, sir. Yes. Something is here. Okay, elaborate judicial system, and the law books of the Mauryan Empire, they are based on Charitam, Vyavaharika, Shastra and Rajasasana. Rajasasana means what? King's order. Yes. Then second one is Shastra. Shastra means Dharma Shastras. Then Vyavaharika means what? Vyavaharika. Vyavaharika means custom. Okay, customs of the local region are known as Vyavaharika. Then Charitam means history. Is it clear? So the laws are based on history, customs, king's orders and Dharma Shastras. These are the four sources of law during the Mauryan age, and the civil courts are known as Dharmastayas, whereas the criminal courts are known as Kantaka Shodhan. Okay, this is very important. So you put a star mark nearby to Kantaka Shodhan. What is the meaning of Kantaka? Kantaka means thorn. Shodhana means, okay, searching for thorn. Okay, usually the criminals are considered to be like thorns in society. So Kantaka Shodhana is the criminal department which searches for these thorns and removes them. Are you getting this? Okay, so Kantaka Shodhana, it is called as, you put a star mark near Kantaka Shodhana. And the chief judicial officer in Mauryan age, he is known as Pradvivaka. Okay, Pradvivaka. So he is the chief judicial official. Okay, so these are the important elements of the Mauryan state, sir. Is it making sense? Yes or no? Now, shall we move to the next topic, that is the society of age of Mahajanapadas. Okay, age of Mahajanapadas, because I told you that I will merge the society of Mahajanapadas and Mauryan state together. Okay, when it comes to the society of Mahajanapadas, what happened is, so I will narrate the story first, then we will see the handout. That will be better. Okay, so listen to this, sir. By the age of Mahajanapadas, in society there emerged numerous changes, primarily because during the later Vedic period, Brahmanism became very popular, and it is discriminative, not flexible. Yes, non-flexible and discriminative system is established by Brahmanism. So that is the reason why, as a reaction to Brahmanism, okay, Buddhism and Jainism, they emerged as a reaction to Brahmanism. Okay, in fact, it is considered to be the first generation social reformers in India. I think when I talked about socio-religious reforms in modern India, I talked about them to be the first generation social reformers, second generation being Bhakti and Sufi saints, third generation being the socio-religious reformers of modern India. Remember? So these are the first generation social reformers, and they tried to correct the wrong things which are present in Brahmanism, sir. Okay, first and foremost, Varna order is rigid in Brahmanism. So Buddhism and Jainism, it tried to bring about a Varna order which is flexible. And the determination of Varna, it will be based on aptitude but not on the basis of birth. Is it clear? First one is, first change that they tried to bring about is aptitude based Varna system is first thing. Second thing is, okay, these people, okay, in fact what they tried to do is, they tried to reorder the Varna system by placing Kshatriyas on top of the Varna system. This is very important, sir. Okay, in fact, okay, when they tried to reorder the Varna system, Varna will be flexible, number one. But in the Varna system too, Kshatriya should come on top, then only should come Brahmana. Okay, because most of the founders of these religions, they themselves were Kshatriyas. Buddha is a Kshatriya, Mahavira is a Kshatriya. So that is the reason why what these people did is they reordered the Varna system with Kshatriya on top. Second one. Third one is Brahmanism. Okay, it in fact imposed numerous samskaras on people, rituals on people. Yes. So then apart from that, okay, apart from imposition of the samskaras, okay, in proper Brahmanism, every dvija has to perform Pancha Mahayajnas every day. Pancha Mahayajnas means what? Okay, so in fact there are 5 different kinds of sacrifices which every dvija have to perform every day, sir. But is it feasible for people to perform 5 different yajnas every day, sir? Particularly in urban areas, is it feasible, sir? Rural areas mein phir bhi chalta hai. But in urban areas, once you migrate to urban areas, is it possible for people to follow the Pancha Mahayajnas every day? In fact, Buddhism and Jainism, it emerged as a reaction against this tradition of samskaras. Okay, because there were so many rituals in everyday life that people did not find time to perform those rituals. And in case of religion, if you are not able to follow the rules, guilt is a natural outcome. Yes or no? You are not able to do something. Okay, you go to a temple, you are not getting a proper darshan of the god. After coming out, you will feel bad about yourself. Yes or no, sir? Yes. So similarly, if you are not able to perform the ritual, you are feeling bad. So Buddhism and Jainism, what it did is, it did away with this concept of samskaras and panchamahayajanas, sir. It said that no one is required to perform so many rituals and sacrifices. If you really want to gain spiritual merit, in place of the samskaras, what you should do is, you should practice meditation. Simple. You sit, meditate, you will get a higher spiritual return than by performing samskaras. This is practical too. Yes? Is it making sense? Then apart from this, in Brahmanism, there is an express ban on lending, sir. Okay, money lending as an activity, it is looked down upon by Brahmanism. There is an express ban on money lending activities, and Buddhism and Jainism, they permitted money lending activity. There is one more thing. Then apart from that, okay, in Brahmanism, okay, usually the Vaishyas and Shudras, they were considered as lower rungs of the society. Yes, but Vaishyas became economically very prosperous during the age of Mahajanapadas. Will they be happy with a lower social status when they are economically powerful, sir? Naturally, no. So majority of the Vaishyas, they started patronizing Buddhism, number one. Then apart from that, the Shudras, who are very prominent agriculturists at this point of time, okay, who became Grihapatis, they were also given very low status in Varna. Are you following this, sir? So these people also converted in large number into Buddhism. Then along with that, by the time of age of Mahajanapadas, numerous new professions have emerged. New professions, various professions like pot making is one profession. Okay, then carpentry is one profession. Ironsmith is one more profession. So this way, numerous occupational professions have emerged. Now, where should we place these new professions into the Varna order? Varna order, does it have the scope for these new professions, sir? Varna order has only 4 different professions. One is pastoralism, Vaishya. Protection, Kshatriya. Okay, Brahmin is intellectual work. Last one is Shudra, is to serve all other professions. Now, these new professions which have emerged, they were not able to accommodate into this Varna system. So when they were unable to accommodate into this Varna system, these new professions, most of them, they started getting attracted towards Buddhism and Jainism. Is it making sense? Then along with that, in the age of Mahajanapadas, because of the agricultural surplus, what happened is, large cities started emerging. Cities. And in cities, is it feasible for people to follow the rule of commensality, sir? Commensality means common dining only among the people of one Varna. Okay, apart from common dining, there is also the rule of common interaction. But in cities, is it possible for this thing, sir? Okay, you go to a public hotel. Okay, you eat with whom? Who knows? Is it feasible, sir? You keep traveling from one place to another. So there you go and find one inn. So you go and sleep there. But who has slept before you? Okay, who is sleeping along with you in the same inn? Can you ensure it, sir? In fact, urbanization, it required a new religion for this age, sir. And the new religions emerged in the form of Buddhism and Jainism. Then along with that, during this period, the cattle wealth of the country, it was depleted because of the rituals and sacrifices. Buddhism and Jainism, from the start itself, they were against this concept of himsa against cattle wealth. Are you getting this, sir? So this way, the society, it got completely transformed because of the influence of Buddhism and Jainism at this point of time. Okay, but what is the spiritual essence of Buddhism and Jainism? I will discuss separately. Is it all right, sir? Is it making sense? Okay, now just have a look at the society of age of Mahajanapadas and this Buddhan age, the age of Mahajanapadas and Mauryan age. Social reforms came in this period. This is the first generation social reform. Second is Bhakti and Sufi movement. Third is during British era. Okay, just see this. This period is known as second urbanization, where the people started gaining enormous agricultural surplus. They knew about wet paddy cultivation plus transplantation, Ropana. So what is wet paddy cultivation, sir? Usually the paddy fields are always filled with water. Okay, that is what is known as wet paddy cultivation. That also developed here. So there was agricultural surplus, rituals and sacrifices, large resources were used, incongruence in social, economic and political status of, write it down, of Vaishyas and Kshatriyas. Even though the Kshatriyas became the most powerful rulers, they were given lower status ritually than Brahmins. Vaishyas become economically prosperous, but social status is less. Will it be acceptable, sir? Okay, if people become powerful, then they will reorder the society's order. Incongruence means non-sync. Sync is not there. Social status is low, but economic status is high. Are you understanding this? Political status is high, but social status is low. Are you understanding this? Take the case of Mauryan, sir. They are Shudras, yes, but they took up the role of Kshatriya. But will they be comfortable in the Hindu order, sir? That is the reason why you see Chandragupta Maurya converted to Jainism. Then after that, Bindusara he converted to Ajivika. Ashoka Maurya he converted to Buddhism. None of them remained in Hinduism. Are you understanding? Because their social status is low, but their political status has become very high. Are you understanding this? Okay, so that is the reason. Then difficult to follow Varna order in urban cities. There emerged powerful kings who disliked Brahminical domination. Okay, because of this Kshatriya reaction itself, okay, in Brahminical religion there emerged an avatara of Vishnu called Parashurama, who started killing all the Kshatriyas. Yes, okay, because the Kshatriyas are trying to, okay, in fact, increase their social position over Brahmins. Are you understanding? Okay, there is a link. When I talk about this Bhagavatism, I will tell about the backstories of everything. Okay, so now next one is, so emergence of heterodox sects. Okay, so that is Buddhism and Jainism. Rituals and sacrifices should be stopped. No element of social and individual welfare from rituals. So that is the reason why they have to be stopped. Heavy wastage of resources. Varna should be based on aptitude but not on the basis of birth. Kshatriya should be on top. Kings started patronizing Buddhism and Jainism, and they believed in the concept of essential equality of individual irrespective of birth. Any person by his own capability can attain highest ritual status, that is moksha. Because Shudra and women are denied moksha according to the later Vedic period Brahmanism. Yes, so you write it down. Okay, can attain highest ritual status. Okay, Varna in which he is born is immaterial. Okay, there you write. Okay, as earlier in Brahmanism, women and Shudras were denied moksha. Women and Shudras were denied moksha. In fact, Buddhism is such a progressive religion, it even permitted women to become Buddhist nuns. Yes or no? Okay, in fact, Buddhist monkhood, it had both bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. Bhikkhuni means woman monk of Buddhism is called as bhikkhuni. Is it alright? So it is progressive. Women are given equal status that of men. Yes. So women were allowed to become Buddhist nuns. So these are the important prominent social changes which occurred during this period. Okay, there you can write one statement. So this period saw the conflict between Brahmanism and heterodox sects. Conflict between Brahmanism and heterodox sects. The things denied by, will stop, continue, the things denied by Brahmanism, were permitted in Buddhism and Jainism. Okay, you can give the example of lending money. Because without money lending, will the economy grow, sir? For economic growth, money lending is very important activity. So that is the reason why these people, they permitted it. Is it alright, sir? Now, the next one is economy. Okay, economy I already talked about many things about the age of Mahajanapadas. I talked about urbanization, new crafts emerging. I talked about agricultural surplus. Yes. So all of these aspects I have talked about, and in fact, it is during the age of Mahajanapadas itself, two prominent road lines of India, they were laid down, sir. One is Dakshinapatha and the second one is Uttarapatha. Is it clear? And during this time, during the age of Mahajanapadas, a new concept in commerce, it emerged primarily because of emergence of association of craftsmen and merchants, which are known as guild. Okay, I think I talked about guilds once before. Okay, guild is association of craftsmen and merchant. Okay, merchants and craftsmen association is called as guild. Okay, and usually the guild in Indian languages, okay, it is known as nigama. Okay, nigama or shreni. Two names are there. Okay, it is called as nigama or shreni. So numerous guilds started emerging during this period, so which are known as nigama or shreni, and usually the head of a nigama or shreni, he is known as JST. This is important, sir. The head of a nigama or shreni is called as JST. JST. Okay, JST is the head of a nigama or shreni. इंग्लिश में गिल्ड गिल्ड का मीनिंग आई डिडंट गेट इंग्लिश में मीनिंग गिल्ड का मीनिंग क्या है लेट सपोज सम 10 मर्चेंट्स आर देयर दे आर प्रेजेंट इन पाटलिपुत्र they want to trade with Kanchipuram, let's suppose. Okay, so but each individual merchant, if he comes from Patliputra to Kanchipuram, the cost will be very high, the security threat is also very high. So what these 10 people will do is they form an association of their own, which is known as guild. Okay, similarly the craftsmen, okay, let's suppose 10 craftsmen are there who are producing the same product. So these 10 groups, 10 people, they form into an organization which is known as guild. Okay, and the guild has a very important role to play in age of Mahajanapadas, primarily because they are the ones who fix the prices. They are the ones who fix the quality of a product. They are the ones who used to train the people of the next generation. Okay, and the nigamas and shrenis, they used to have coins of their own too. They are in fact very prominent association of merchants and craftsmen, sir. Is it making sense? Okay, in fact they are like joint stock companies where multiple partners will be present. All of them co-producers, cooperative society. Okay, best example is cooperative society. So cooperative society, it works on the same principle. Okay, collective of producers and merchants is known as, okay, the guild, and guilds are here known as nigama or shreni, and their head is known as JST. Is it all right? And for the first time during the age of Mahajanapadas itself, we see the emergence of punch marked coins. Okay, I told about this punch marked coins. Okay, there is also one unique thing about the age of Mahajanapadas is emergence of coinage, and it is only in the age of Mahajanapadas we have a developed script, okay, which is known as Brahmi script. Okay, Brahmi script, it emerged only in age of Mahajanapadas. Before that there was no script, sir. Okay, even the Rig Veda is also only recited and remembered but not written down. Are you understanding what I am trying to say? So writing, it emerged only in age of Mahajanapadas. And emergence of writing, it helps trade and commerce. Does it help trade and commerce or not? Definitely it helps trade and commerce. So that is also one more positive outcome. Just see this, sir. So emergence of first coins of India, that is punch marked coins. Emergence of new classes, okay, because of emergence of various crafts, you write. Emergence of new classes because of emergence of various crafts. Because of emergence of various crafts. All right. Okay. Now, if you see, they had this technology called punch marked coins. Okay, punching symbols onto formal metal coins. This is one. Then next one is age of Buddha. Sorry. Punch marked symbols. So I told about two different types of coins which have been introduced by Alexander. Okay, die struck coin. It is given here. Punches on. Sorry. Punches on semi-molten coins, casting of coins is resorted to. Yes. Then animal figures, human figures, script is present. Emergence of knowledge of scripts is seen here. Yes. So facilitated trade and commerce, whether were not written, they were in fact recited till this age. Okay, till this age, Vedas were not written down. They were in fact part of the oral tradition of India. Yes, only in the age of Mahajanapadas they are written down. Okay, you put a star mark there because that is important point. That is an important point, you put a star mark there. Okay, so apart from that, we have seen the emergence of shrines or shrenis or trading guilds. Not shrines, sir, shreni. Okay, it has been spelled wrongly. Someone has done autocorrect over this. Shreni, not shrine. Shrine is temple, shreni is guild. Shreni or nigama, I think I talked about it. Head is called as JST. Okay, so then Kamika and Shulka Diksha. Okay, write this down. Kamika and Shulka Diksha. Kamika and Shulka Diksha are the new custom officials. New custom officials. Okay, Kamika and Shulka Deksha are customs officials. And the last one is, okay, the vis, okay, or the kin group, okay, vis or kin group, okay, which is important in Vedic period. It is replaced by this concept called, okay, Nati Kulani. Nati Kulani, replaced by vis of kin groups of Vedic period are replaced by Nati Kulani, which are occupational groups, which later formed the basis for Jati. Okay, Nati Kulani, which later formed the basis for Jati. What is the meaning of Jati? Caste. Okay, Kula, it is also known as, okay, it comes from this term, Nati Kulani. Okay, last just 2 more minutes. Okay, so we will just discuss briefly, okay, superficially about the Mauryan age economy. That will finish this handout. Okay, this is the last one, right? Or is there more to this handout? Last, okay, just 2 minutes it will take. In fact, the only difference between the age of Mahajanapadas and Mauryan economy is, in Mauryan economy, the state used to play a very important role, sir. State means the government. Government used to play a very important role in economy during Mauryan age, and it used to play the role of producer. Producer is directly in production. It used to participate by setting up public sector enterprises, and it also used to control agricultural land, which is known as Sita land. Number 1. Number 2 is the government used to play the role of, okay, regulator of the economy. And as part of regulation, it used to fix up the prices. It used to fix up the taxes on the various products. That is the second role of the government. Third role of the government is it used to fix the quality of various products, sir. So quality of the products is also fixed by the state. That is the third one. Fourth one is the state also used to facilitate trade and commerce, primarily by constructing numerous roads, and taking care of the welfare of people is also done during the time of Mauryan age directly by the state. So these are the 4 to 5 important functions of the government, sir, in trade and commerce. So that is the only uniqueness with respect to the Mauryan age administration. In fact, the Mauryan age administration is very similar to the post-independent Indian government's economy. Okay, almost similar, sir. Okay, state-run PSUs, regulation, facilitation, okay, taxation, all of these things, the government used to play a very active role in economy, right? Similarly, the Mauryan age economy is also used to play a very active role in economy. Is it clear? So just in age of Mahajanapadas, you write one statement. Dakshinapata and Uttarapata were laid down during this period. Okay, you write in age of Mahajanapadas, not in Mauryan age. On top, economy of age of Mahajanapadas is there. Okay, there you write. Okay, the Uttarapata and Dakshinapata were laid during this time. Okay, about the roots of these 2 roots, I will talk about later. Dakshinapata and Uttarapata were laid during the age of Mahajanapadas.
Sir, if there are no roots in the Mahajanapadas, then how
There were roots. I told you about Dakshinapata and Uttarapata. Trading routes. Okay, trade goes and parallelly armies also grow. Okay, so that is the case. Next, okay, just you see this last slide. State played a very active role. It monopolized some sectors, okay, like mines, played role in as producer in economy by setting up public sector enterprises, regulator of economy. Yes. Okay, then establishment of irrigation by state. Okay, about this Sudarshana Lake, I'll talk separately. Okay, so now you see this silver coins of Mauryan age, they are known as Karshapana or Pana. Mashaka is known as copper coin. Alright, okay, Karshapana is the silver coin, Masaka is the copper coin, and the government also constructed numerous ring wells for irrigation. Okay, ring wells for irrigation, I'll talk about ring wells later. Okay, the last one is you just highlight the word northern black polished ware. Okay, northern black polished ware is the distinguishing pottery of age of Mahajanapadas. Okay, from the age of Mahajanapadas to Mauryan age, the pottery which is present is the north black polished ware pottery. Alright, so these are the important aspects of Mauryan age economy. So we are done with the second handout. So I think yesterday we discussed one handout, and today we discussed one more handout. Okay, yes or no? Okay, this way, 5 days nahi, 6 दिन, 6 दिन में 6 handouts are there, right? 6 handouts are there. 6 दिन में 6 handout खत्म करने के लिए हम लोग ट्राई करेंगे. Okay, I hope so that I will be successful in my endeavor. Okay, how many pages was the handout today? I think it was done very well today. 17 pages. Okay, usually in modern India we used to discuss just 10 pages, not more than that. Primarily because there was more analysis, sir, because it is important for mains. Here it is mostly prelims. Okay, but wherever there are mains question, I am asking you to mark them. Please mark them as M so that you can revise them. All right. Okay, so baki handouts thodi, I think the medieval India handouts are a little bulky. Okay, there are a little more pages, but we will discuss them, sir. Okay, with time. But please refer to Puran Dalal Dahya. Okay, see, because the book is good, but okay, there were some factual inaccuracies in the book. You make your handout as the primary material and use that book only as a superficial reference book. There is too much of information in that book. Don't read it too thoroughly. Only whenever you get a doubt, you want to learn more about a particular thing, you read it. But otherwise, whatever is discussed in class, that itself would be sufficient. But use that as a reference book. I think I told you how to use reference books, right? Just read it once superficially. If you think any point is important, you make a note in white sheet and you attach it to the handout. That's it. Okay. So, and for people who are writing prelims this year, I think you will not have time for Puran Dalal Dahya. You depend on the handouts. Okay, because that is a thick book, right? Very thick book. Okay, so that is the reason. That's it. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.